those tackles only lasted about 2-3 series. And he's looking at the defense, the running backs and the wide receivers. Keyshawn Johnson, I think, has got to really be getting a lot more man coverage of that great game that Jeff Graham had last week against the Colts.
Keyshawn coming across in motion. Ricky Anderson gets the first call, the fullback for the New York Jets. He's stopped by Ted Washington. Let's look at that Bills defense. Washington was the question mark.
Oh, we talked about Bruce Smith against the pass, and Hanson's good against the pass. The key guy in the front, though, is Ted Washington. He's playing with his banged-up, hyperextended elbow. He may not last the whole game. The linebackers, David White again for Bryce Popp, who's been inactivated with that bad groin. Matt Stevens, a big hitter who got his first career interception last week.
2nd down and 8. Right to throw. Has protection time. Deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. Whoa. Jeff Graham, the intended receiver, and he was decked.
Well, that's Kurt Schulz coming from that deep safety, and that's the changeup that the Buffalo defense gives you, Charlie. They'll give you the kind of look where you think you're going to get man, but you're not getting man. That cornerback, he's got help in the defensive backfield, and does he have help? That is the kind of help when they watch the tape the next day that the cornerbacks just love. And a little late by White, but that tends to compound on a quarterback when he knows he's going to spend most of the game on the ground after a pass.
3rd down, 8. Jets go with 4 wide. Corbett comes back inside as a blocker if they need him. He slips out in the flat. He has it. He's the 3rd down receiver, and he does it again.
Well, 3rd down last week was the first time Corbett this year didn't get a catch on 3rd down. He's leading the NFL in 3rd down receptions, and that's just a job of Ron Erhardt and the staff creating an opportunity for a guy they know. As you can tell from that right there, number 1 in the league, they know when it's on 3rd down, he's going to find a way to get open.
You could add one more. That is now number 24 on the year for Wayne Corbett. 39-yard line. Jets in their own territory. Opening drive, no score, 1st down. And here's Morrell with the convoy out in front. He's dead. Ted Washington was waiting on him, closed him down right at the line of scrimmage.
All right, Ted Washington should play with a bad elbow more often. The first two times the Jets have tried to run the ball, the big guy, I guess you'd call him an anchor, but he's a little small for an anchor. He just tends to find a way to get to the ball, go working through Duffy, and you come back to the line of scrimmage for the cutback, and there's about a 350-pound impediment there right in front of you.
I don't think that's small for an anchor. It's a small boat and a large anchor. 2nd down. Keyshawn motion coming inside. Now he fakes, goes to the outside. The pass comes back over the middle to Jeff Graham. Graham at the 44-yard line is brought down by the inside linebacker, Chris Spielman.
The real key today for the Jets and for their coaching staff is going to remain patient with the run. They're going to stuff Adrian Morrell. They are going to get those type of things going against the Jets offense. They know what the Jets do best, and that is run the ball. But this is a Jets team that is in the upper echelon in the league in offense, and Richie Kotite knows the reason that team's doing that is because of the running game, something that Ron Erhardt there, the offensive coordinator, has always specialized in.
3rd down, 5. Again, 4 wide. Now they go to 5 wide receivers. 5 wide receivers on the set. Nobody in the pass block. Deep over the middle all alone. Is Graham. He's got the 1st down. Jeff Graham. I'm not sure the Bills' defense could cover the 5 wide receivers in the set that they were in.
Well, Charlie, they did a good job anticipating because they basically had seven defensive backs in. That 19-yard catch there by Graham. Look at all the defensive backs. But, the real key here and concern for the Jets is after this catch, Graham goes down. Remember, Jeff Graham had that big game last week, but he's coming back off a arthroscopic knee scope a couple weeks ago, so keep your eye on Graham.
Buffalo Bills 36-yard line, opening drive, right to throw. He has pressure. He's got the scramble. Gets it away. Pass is complete. He was being chased by one of the inside linemen, Sam Wright. He was chased by David White, and Sam Rogers makes the tackle on Kyle Brady. For Brady, the tight end, that is only his 6th reception on the year, out of now some only 14 passes that have been thrown to him, a bone of contention in the offense.
Well, he actually made a comment, said he had a meeting with Ron Erhardt this week and said, hey, look, I've got to be more involved in the offense. You got to throw the tight end position the ball more often. We're not going to the playoffs, but let's open things up. Erhardt had a great comeback. He goes, quarterback throws to people that are open. He hasn't been open, but on that play he was.
Second down, 6, 32-yard line. Morrell to the near side, cuts back inside, cuts to the outside, inside the 20 and out of bounds. And he goes all the way to the stands. He has some friends in the front row. 13 yards on the play. Spielman was chasing him.
You know, this is a nice job coordinating of the Jets offensive line. Watch Harry Galbraith coming from the backside. Nice lead block by Anderson, a little scrape off by Galbraith. And that's just giving a back like Adrian Morrell that crack, that window he needs. And be patient with the run. You're going to get those kind of plays from Adrian Morrell. You're also going to get some -1s and 0s, but you got to hang with it.
Morrell needing 62 yards to reach the 1,000-yard mark. First down at the 18-yard line. Second back is Richie Anderson. Not a lot there for him. Spielman closes the door immediately.
And he would play without his helmet if you gave him a choice. I mean, it's the only reason he's got to put that thing back on is the league won't let him play without a helmet. Look at that guy. I mean, he is a linebacker. I like the job this guy has always done.
Chin strap broke, right?
You know, look at all the tackle he's had. You know, chin strap's busted, but, you know, Spielman's actually going to get a chance now to play in more nickel-type situations with the mix-ups they've had in the linebacker position. Marlo Perry has been activated, the linebacker, so you might see him in some passing spots, something he did do in Detroit and did do effectively.
Reich turns around and he calls a timeout. So we'll stop the clock for a moment. We have no score. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment in Buffalo.
By Staples, the office superstore. By Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. And by Taco Bell. There's nothing ordinary about it. Taco Bell.
We are back in Buffalo, a very, very cold day. This will be the 10th play of the drive. Wright completing 4 of 5. Graham 2 receptions for 24 yards. Good protection, a little lob pass over the middle. It's Graham inside the 5. And he'll be smothered at about the 2-yard line. Jeff Graham coming off of that outstanding game last week, brought down here by Ken Urban. He picks up 14 yards. Last week, he had 9 receptions for 189 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, what they did was they
3
dragged
touchdowns.
Keyshawn Johnson, who was in the slot, and then they bring back Graham behind him, and you see that pad in the hole area that created into the defense. Another good job of this Jets offense just executing what is obviously part of the game plan coming in. You know, Ron Earhart and Richie Kotite saw something on the tapes, and right now in the opening drive, Frank Reich and this offense are executing it perfectly.
First down, goal to go, 2-yard line. Here's Morrell, nothing there. Sean Price into shore of the defense for the Buffalo Bills is there.
No gain, second and goal.
Well, you're going into the heart of that Buffalo Bills defense. You know, Price is going to be there, but you know Spielman's going to be there. You know Ted Washington's going to be there. You got Stevens, the rookie, 23, the safety, jumping over that pile late. I mean, if you attack this Bills defense, I think you're better going to the flanks. Because look at the guys you're running at into the teeth.
Second down, goal to go. 3 tight ends. We'll have flags flying everywhere. They're going to call a procedure penalty, motion penalty, no play.
False start, number 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And the officials did something that we have not seen often enough this year. When they had everybody converged, they ran in. The officials got in the middle of the play. They stopped everything from happening.
Well, 2 things happened. Harry Boatswain moved, and the second he flinched, I mean, even moved a muscle, Bruce Smith. Look at Bruce Smith.
He's so quick.
It does not take much. He's looking for a blink, much less a quiver. And as soon as he saw that quiver, he went.
Second down, goal to go still, but now at the 7-yard line.
But you're into more of a conventional offensive formation instead of the goal line one before.
Graham on the left, Keyshawn Johnson on the right. Going to the tight end, it is incomplete. Kyle Brady cannot hang on to it. Chris Spielman is draped all over it.
Well, so far for Kyle Brady and this offense, it's been ask and ye shall receive. He complained about not being going to enough, and he's got himself a reception. He's got himself a couple good blocks on runs for Adrian Morrell, and he's the A guy right here on this thing for Frank Reich. But, you know, that's a tough catch. I mean, you're throwing through a forest of arms, and the forest of arms influences the quarterback, but it also influences that receiver getting a good look at that ball.
Last week, the Jets on third down, 4 for 15. That's not nearly good enough. Here comes blitz pressure from the outside. Good protection going into the corner. Nobody is there.
Well, once again, going to Kyle Brady, Charlie, going to the tight end in that far corner.
He couldn't get there in time. That's the third time he's been thrown to. He has one reception.
Well, you know, they're trying to create something in the defense. They're trying to move Keyshawn Johnson in motion, drag him across, and create a hole for Frank Reich to drop the ball on the backside of the end zone, and he didn't get that much of a hole to throw it to, but he did get good protection, as you saw there.
Here's Nick Lowry with a field goal attempt from the 15-yard line, an attempt at 25 yards. Well within his range. Opening drive, the Jets cap it with a field goal and 3 points. They take the early lead. The Jets out in front of the Bills, 3-0. Back for the kickoff in a moment.
This is the NFL on NBC.
At the top of the telecast, we mentioned that it was cold. How cold is it? Well, the temperature is 28, but notice the wind chill, 14 degrees.
The one I like to look at is that forecast. Flurries?
But it doesn't say flurries of what?
Flurries?
It's scary. Eric Moles and Russell Copeland are the deep backs on the return as Don Silvestri kicks it away. And here is Copeland for the Buffalo Bills as they will have an opportunity now to move on offense for the first time. As Jim Kelly, the quarterback, brings him out. Last 8 games, he's thrown only 3 interceptions. Quite a turnaround.
He's getting a good job on this offensive line, but it is hurt. All those guys are suffering from little injuries. Corey Lucci gets the start for John Fina, who's been inactive and couldn't answer the bell, but we could see some injury substitutions in that line also. And there they are, the 3 wide receivers set, known as the K-gun, starting this game off.
They open instead with 4 wide receivers. The Bills on first down from their own 25-yard line open with 4 wide receivers. Kelly over the middle. Pass is complete. This is Tasker. Tasker giving ground, breaks it clean down the sideline. The foot race is on. He's inside the 30. He is going to be caught from behind. Cannot quite make it on the first offensive play.
Wow, Charlie, that is coming out and surprising a defense. You come out in 4 wide receivers, and you're looking for a mismatch. Where's the mismatch? It's a wide receiver catching a ball underneath, running against linebacker.
And watch Thurman Thomas, number 34, look for the block. Then down the sideline, here comes Gary Jones, number 25.
Yeah, it's just the job right there by Jones of finally getting a shoelace, you know, on Tasker. And you see, this is, well, number one, he is not really taunting anybody or making signals. He's asking for an offensive substitution from the sideline with that hand action.
62 yards on the opening play. Gary Jones is still down on the sideline. He caught him from behind. He really had to close on him. He did the same thing that Aaron Glenn did last week.
Well, and that's no small task either. I mean, Steve Tasker, known for years as, you know, the All-Pro selection, the Pro Bowl selection on special teams, has been so involved the last couple of years in this offense as a wide receiver, and it's made a huge amount of difference. And a lot of players tend to underestimate the speed of Steve Tasker, but as you saw there, it took everything Gary Jones had from that safety spot to run him down. I don't know if you call that a run him down. I mean, catch his shoe. He didn't quite run the rest of him down.
Yeah. You know what Tasker's telling all of his friends? That's the longest reception in my career. And it is. He said, that's it. That's what it is. That's just what I did.
You know what they're going to be telling him tomorrow when they watch tapes?
You got
caught. The guy ran you down.
The guy named Jones ran you down?
I thought you were supposed to be fast.
You're right. You can only be a hero for 10 seconds, right? With your teammates.
Well, now you're looking at a situation with the Buffalo Bills, though, Charlie. They're going to come back in something a lot more conventional. And that means to them, that means 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and a lead fullback. 13-yard line, first down. Thurman Thomas inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Lonnie Young with the tackle. Let's look quickly at that New York Jet defense. They are being tested early on in this ballgame. And no group will be tested more on a regular basis than these 4 guys up front. Hugh Douglas getting a chance, like we said, going against Corey Lucci, but they run the ball like that. Pass rush becomes null and void and really coverage and run support from the linebackers and safeties becomes more important.
Jason Bratton, who was just activated, a rookie free agent from Grambling, came off of the practice squad, is now in, and he carries. Bobby Houston with the tackle.
You know, this is a Bills offense earlier this year that in the red zone, they stunk. I mean, they did things terrible. But look what they've done the last 4 games. Importantly, they're getting down here and they're scoring touchdown. And 70% plus in touchdown in the red zone is excellent.
3rd down and 3. We had a jet step into the neutral zone. Was there movement by the offensive line drawing him into the neutral zone?
Encroachment, number 94, defense. Half the distance to the goal line. 3rd down.
Yeah, drawing them with a flinch, Charlie. The defensive linemen, they get in there and they make this motion. Watch the motion right here. And that makes Kent Hull sort of move back. Years ago, that was clearly going to be offside against the offense. That rule was changed a year or 2 ago where the defender could actually be called for pulling the offensive player off.
Matt Brock is the man who draws the infraction. In encroachment, you have to move across the neutral zone and make contact.
A 1st down.
Prior to the ball being snapped. Bob McElwee is the referee.
I wish they had that when I was playing. I mean, they used to be able to do that stemming, sliding the defense, and they jump at you and make you try to jump. What Richie Kotite's defense needs right here, they need a big play on this play right here. It's 3rd and short.
Split the distance to the goal line. And the big play by the defense may not be big enough. Jason Bratton is carrying. Matt Brock, who had the infraction, leads the defense for the Jets.
Well, Brock made the play, got into the backfield and made the tackle, but unfortunately for the Jets defense, he also got a short little brief ride from Bratton. And Bratton gets the 1st down on that quick handoff from Jim Kelly.
Robert Coons checks into the offensive set for Buffalo. They say we want to make it official. The Bills already figured they have the 1st down. It'll be 1st down and goal to go. They send in their 3rd tight end.
Yeah, this Buffalo offense is completely different than what you've seen out of Marv Levy's team in the past. This is an offensive team that wants to just play power football. They want to run the ball 45, 50 times in a game. They'd be perfectly happy throwing 20 passes, and they're going to just try to bludgeon you instead of beating you with style like they used to.
Here's Thurman Thomas to the near side, cuts back, and he is stopped around the 2-yard line. Lonnie Young moving up from the secondary helps out on the play.
You got a Jet player down on the ground with the safety number 21.
Victor Green. Ball at the 2-yard line. 5:25 and counting. Time remaining. We're in the 1st quarter. Jets are up 3-0. They scored on their opening drive with a field goal. And we have whistles sounding. They're going to call this one back. We had a false start.
Right on the snap. False start. Number 86 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That was on Tony Klein, the tight end. Derek Holmes is back in as the lead blocker. He's now the fullback for Buffalo.
I mean, maybe it's cold and guys start kind of shivering and quivering in here in the offensive line and want to hurry up and just get it. I don't know. It just didn't look like it was exactly your huge mass movement off the line of scrimmage. You know, Tony Klein there is tight end out of Stanford. Dad played defensive end for the Raiders. And short time played defensive end for the 49ers when I was there. So they're not exactly the family genes to be playing on that side of the ball.
2nd down, Bratton back in at fullback. Here's Thurman Thomas. Thomas to the 5-yard line. That will be all that he gets. That was 2nd down and goal to go. And again, Matt Brock right in the middle of things.
He's trying to do his Chris Spielman act, trying to play without the helmet. Maybe you can play that little
Balaclava.
Black, a little black. Was that Balaclava? Balaclava. Oh, okay. You're going big words on me.
No, that's a
you
rock
know, see the way Thurman was kind of twisted
down
there on the ground, and he's still down on the ground after that one.
Thurman, of course, as most of you know, needs 117 yards rushing for his 8th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Barry Sanders today needing 18 yards to become the first man in history, and Thurman, we would figure then would become the second man in NFL history. But right now, this is not good news for the Buffalo Bills. We're going to step aside for a moment. We'll be back in Buffalo.
Foot caught. Watch what happens at the end of this play on the tackle. Watch the left foot. Right there, gets caught right underneath Matt Brock, 94, as he was tackling him, and just twisted that thing pretty severely. And look.
3rd down, goal to go. Kelly has pressure, throws, incomplete. Flag is down on the far side. Andre Reed, the intended receiver.
The Jets lined up offsides, Charlie. Man, bad mental mistake lining up offsides on a 3rd down like that for Richie Kotite's defense.
Remember, it's 3rd down and goal to go.
Oh, that wasn't lined up. I'm wrong. That was Washington jumping early on Jim Kelly's staccato call there. And good defense by the Jets. I mean, they were all over Kelly, made him throw that thing away late, but
Kelly,
Offside, number 97 defense, half the distance to the goal line, 3rd down.
Jim Kelly now a couple of times has pulled the Jets off by changing his cadence or his counters. Let's see if we can pick him up this time when they come to the line of scrimmage and see exactly what he is doing.
Well, he does that a lot. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, along with fellow class of 93 guys, Dan Marino and John Elway in Denver. They can really emphasize that first one. They can get you on the first one, but the ball's coming on the second.
This time he goes on 1st down, throws into the corner. It's caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. Andre Reed, that is his 4th touchdown of the year. And so the Bills on their opening drive counter the Jets field goal and take the lead 6-0 with the extra point to come.
Hey, all this is, Charlie, is Jim Kelly having faith in Andre Reed, knowing if he throws it near him, he's going to get it. Not bad coverage by Glenn. I mean, Aaron Glenn is right there. But Kelly knows Reed is going to get that ball, and the defender won't.
Steve Christie adds the point after, and Buffalo takes the lead. The Bills are out in front by a score of 7-3 with 4:17. That is the time remaining here in the first quarter. Back for the kickoff in a moment.
Company there when you think about the United Berry, Hadel, Allworth.
Here's Reggie Cobb. He fields it at the 5, out to the 15, now to the 20, and tipped up down at the 21-yard line. Now for an update, let's go to New York City and Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Charlie, and we'll take you to Baltimore, where the Ravens have jumped on top of Jacksonville. Mark Brunell throws his league-leading 19th interception. Mike Caldwell picks it off and goes 45 yards for the touchdown with the extra point. Baltimore in the lead, 7-0 over the Jaguars, Charlie.
And here in Buffalo, the Bills are in the lead by a score of 7-3. Thank you for that update, Greg. Oh, it's cold here, isn't it? It's really cold.
Well, you know,
my lips are starting to freeze.
That's going to influence people like, you know, Jumbo Elliott and David Williams with the calf in the back. When it's this cold, you tighten up an injury a lot faster.
3 wide receivers. Here's Adrian Morrell. Morrell off the left side. He has the corner, has the 1st down. He's out of bounds, has 11 yards. 1st down at the 32-yard line. Thomas Smith, the cornerback, was chasing him.
You know, this Buffalo defense, I think, came into this game with no misconceptions about what kind of an offense they were going against. This Jets offense not only has the ability to throw the ball the way they have with Graham and Keyshawn, they're going to throw Adrian Morrell at you, and obviously that patience is there for Ron Earhart and Richie Kotite. You saw Adrian Morrell just sort of, if I'd only turn that corner just a little bit more.
Morrell has rushed for 26 yards already in the ballgame. It's a 1st down. Right to throw. That is pulled in by Graham. Having another great game just like he did against Indianapolis last week. Back-to-back 1st downs. Jeff Burris with the tackle. This one good for 14 yards.
You know, once again, you've got to emphasize the job I think this Jets offensive line is doing. That's what's getting Reich the ability to get the ball down the field and get it to the receivers like Graham, like Keyshawn, like Kravett. Right now, Jumbo Elliott against Bruce Smith, and specifically David Williams working on the other side against Phil Hansen, are doing a nice job of pass protecting for Reich.
3 wide receivers on the first down set. Bills lead at 7-3. Here's Morrell. He's got a yard. He now needs 35 yards to reach the 1,000-yard mark. Chris Spielman with the tackle.
This is a give your body up style of defense, though, for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Ted Washington gives his body up just so the linebackers can run to the ball. And once he gives his body up, he knows darn well he's got a guy like Spielman behind him who, you know, he looks for every chance to give up his body at the supermarket, much less in a football field. I mean, he'll throw his body in the aisle 9 in the vegetables, the canned vegetables and fruit if he gets a shot.
Battling grocery carts. Second down and 9. Right to throw. Good protection again into coverage. Good catch by Kyle Brady. That is Brady's second reception, the 4th time that they've gone to him in the ballgame. So all of a sudden he's becoming a force in the offense, at least in the early going.
Well, right about now he's got to be coming back to the huddle saying, well, man, if I'd just had to ask for the ball, I'd have asked for the ball a lot earlier. But, you know, he's getting
open. You're right.
He's getting into the spots in the defense, and Frank Reich is finding him. The tight ends have not been open that often in the offense earlier. He's not only asked to be thrown to, he's finding a way to get open.
First down, 36-yard line of Buffalo. Second drive of the ball game by the Jets. Right side is Morrell. Cuts back. He has close to 10 yards. They're going to mark it, I believe, at the 27-yard line. Will go for 9. Bruce Smith was there to bring him down.
You know, not only is Kyle Brady doing a nice job today, I think, catching the ball, you watch what he's doing right here, blocking for Adrian Morrell. Line up the tight end position, working on Phil Hansen, the defensive end. It's that block on the defensive end that enables them to cut back, and then Roger Duffy working on Ted Washington gets a good push, and that's why Morrell gets those extra yards.
Just over a minute, time remaining, first quarter. 3 wide receivers. Keyshawn in the slot left, going down the sideline. Graham is there, but it's picked off. Just lurking in the wings was Kurt Schultz. Perfect timing to pick off the pass. He lured Frank Reich into throwing it, and he was there.
You know,
nice play.
What it really is, Charlie, is they're mixing up. Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator, is giving him some blitz with man. He's giving him zone blitz. This is pure zone. Look at Schultz sitting on the numbers. He sat on the numbers until it looked like Reich was staring at Graham, and as soon as he saw that, he started heading for the ball, and you know, that was easy for Schultz. I mean, Schultz has to look at the tape tomorrow and go, well, it's sort of one for me, because, you know, on the other side of the field, Frank Reich is going, hey, look, I never saw him. You know, I know he was there, but I didn't see him.
8-yard line. Bills start deep in their own territory. This is their second time on offense, and the first time they went to Tasker for 62 yards, but this time they hand off to Derek Holmes. Here is an update on Thurman Thomas, and it is good news, and that it is a deep sprain is the first report, not as bad as everyone thought that it could be, so that is good news.
Well, he's not exactly going to be leaping off that heated bench and dancing anytime soon. I think to show he's all right. I mean, that is a pretty good twist on that ankle for Thurman Thomas, and Marv Levy and his staff will be very careful about getting him back in.
Kelly going deep, wide open behind everybody, and he has overthrown Russell Copeland. Copeland just snuck out, and nobody went with him.
Look at Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Look at Jim Vaccarelli, the defensive coordinator. Now settle down, not a big deal. They didn't hurt us on that one.
Well, they almost did.
They were, I mean, he was wide open. He just burst through. Watch the linebackers and the defensive backs just hesitate, and when they hesitate, Kelly throws the ball. Just a sit-up, wasn't much of a play-action fake. They just sat on the route, and when they sat, he went.
That's the first pass that Kelly has missed. Not doing good defensive play. Excellent defensive play. That was Marcus Coleman, the rookie. Steve Tasker, the intended receiver.
Well, last week against Indianapolis, Marcus Coleman had some big plays on defense filling in exactly these types of situations. And Kelly's throwing another one of those faith passes, this time to Tasker, saying, I know my guy, I'll throw it tight. He'll come up with it, but Greenwood gets that left hand and swats it out.
So the Jet defense is held, and Chris Moore will kick it away. Wayne Corbett is the return man. Pretty good kick, doesn't turn over. Sale off of his hands, chases it back. He's now back to the 30, goes down to the 25, down to the 20. Now he's in all kinds of trouble. He's going to be down in the neighborhood of the 20-yard line by Marlon Kerner. And that's a 20-yard mistake. 20-yard mistake.
Hey, the further back you go, Charlie, the worse the news gets, too.
And it was bad news. Good news is that's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second period of action in just a moment. The yard line right. Somebody busted a play.
Well, that's a smart thing for Frank to
Oh,
do that
yeah.
he would rather not do. I mean, that is one of those things where you come out, you reverse, you know exactly what the play is. You go to hand it to somebody, and the back's looking at you like, oh, what?
I thought it was
I don't
a
want
pass.
that thing.
That was it. Hey, we're taking volunteers. Wait a minute. No. So he'll lose a yard on the play.
That'll get a coach and an offensive coordinator shaking their heads.
Yes.
That's right up there with jumping off sides.
Second down and 11. Morrell, the remaining back. Reich, that's a great play. That is a great play, and I'll tell you why. Reich knew, he felt the pressure coming, and he knew he had to get rid of it, or else Bruce Smith was going to be all over him for a sack. And he just put it in the direction of.
Well, Charlie, it's designed as a screen.
Yeah.
Jumbo Elliott isn't able to quite slow Bruce Smith up enough. But I mean, the screen was there. If Elliott could have just slowed him up just a little more, Reich would have been able to get that pass a lot more accurately. And look at Bruce Smith there. I mean, that takes your metabolism has slowed way down when you get to the point at 14 degrees in this wind, you don't wear a shirt. I mean, you're getting towards Eskimo or Arctic Circle type people when you wear a short-sleeve shirt in this one.
Jets were out of time on the play clock, so they take a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Buffalo leads by 4.
Charge Against Hunger program by NASDAQ and by Coors Light, proud partner of the John Wayne Cancer Institute and their search for a cure.
This is Charlie Jones, Randy Cross, 14:26, time remaining in the first half. The Buffalo Bills in front of the New York Jets by a score of 7-3. From the shotgun. Reich throws far side. This one is intercepted. Second interception by the Bills, and the second one by Kurt Schultz. And he was wide open. And he hit him right between the numbers.
Well, you know, Charlie, if you look at this thing, they line up Buffalo Bills and they look like a four-man rush. But watch Hansen, 90. He drops out. He's going into a zone for a linebacker. That's zone blitz. I think Frank Reich was thinking, man, getting the blitz. And that's not what he got. He got a zone. Look at the defensive backs. They're falling off into a zone. And Reich was not expecting Schultz to be right there underneath Keyshawn Johnson. Well-disguised defense for Wade Phillips and the Buffalo Bills.
Second interception for Kurt Schultz and his 4th of the season. And the Bills start at the Jets' 24-yard line. Kelly hands off to Derek Holmes. Now let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York City for an update. Greg?
All right, Charlie, and I'll be happy to take you to Foxborough, where the Patriots have regained the scoring touch, up 3-0 already with a field goal. Look at how wide open Sean Jefferson is for Drew Bledsoe's 13-yard touchdown pass with the extra point. 10-0. Patriots lead Indianapolis. Under 10 minutes to play first half, Charlie.
And as we come back, Derek Holmes has just carried for Buffalo, and he has been stopped by Hugh Douglas. By the way, we also want to pass on congratulations to Barry Sanders. Sanders with a 22-yard touchdown run that tied the Detroit-Chicago game at 14, went over 1,000 yards for the 8th consecutive year. That is the first time in history, the history of the National Football League, that has been done. Kelly, shy of the end zone, underthrown, stop, come back, wait, there, guess who? Andre Reed has his second touchdown of the ballgame, 22 yards.
The Jets defense could not believe that play. They got pressure on Jim Kelly. They gave him every reason not to come up with a good pass. And you know what? He looks back on it. He won't think this is a good pass. He's getting the pressure from Hugh Douglas, who smacks him. Throws a weather balloon up for grabs. Watch Reed go into the defensive backfield. Talk about freezing. Everybody else keeps running. He stops for the ball. He could have fair caught it.
And the extra point is good. And the Buffalo Bills have stretched the margin. They lead the Jets 14-3. And it is taken by the up back. That's Alex Van Dyke.
Alex Van Dyke returns the kickoff.
Eric Smedley with the tackle.
Smedley makes the tackle.
And there is Andre Reed now with 5 touchdowns on the year. And that brings his total receptions to 751.
And he passes his wide receivers coach here with the Buffalo Bills, Charlie Joyner, a Hall of Famer.
Reich is 0 for 3 on his last 3 passes. 2 of them have been intercepted. Here's Adrian Morrell. And a yard on the right side.
Ball's loose, Charlie.
Ball's loose. Bills say they have it. The officials agree. David White comes up with it. So White comes up with a fumble recovery. 2 interceptions, and now a fumble recovery. 3 turnovers by the Jets.
You know, up to this point, the last 4 or 5 weeks, you've seen a Jets team that's hang tough, and they've had leads, and they've played well, and haven't made the critical mistakes early. When they've made a few late, they haven't made it early. But right now here today, you're seeing big mistakes early. The 2 interceptions, now a fumble. That ball was loose and coming out before he hit the ground. Bruce Smith was right there with him as it hit the ground. You saw that ball squirt out, and White recovered.
Guess what? 24-yard line. They were there just a moment ago. Kelly hands off. He gives to Derek Holmes. And that's maybe a yard there. Well, what is going on in that Kansas City-San Diego game? Here's Greg Gumbel with a report.
Charlie, I'm glad you asked. In Kansas City, Leonard Russell of San Diego, a 4-yard run for a touchdown. 14-0 Chargers. They jumped off to a 14-point lead last week. Couldn't hold it against Tampa. We'll see what they can do against the Chiefs. Still plenty of time to play in the first half.
All right, thank you, Greg. As Kelly serves up an interception to Victor Green. So turnabout is fair play.
Right, and the ball was tipped, too. I mean, that ball didn't end up anywhere near where Jim Kelly was trying to throw it. That is a case of good defensive football, good fundamentals you work on in training camp. You know, Marv Levy's quarterback, Jim Kelly, works on it. Well, Jim Vaccarelli, the defensive coordinator, works on it with his guys with the Jets. Watch the arms. Hands up. If you can't get there, get your hands up. Washington was there. I think Brock got it just at the last second as it passed him by, and that's why Green gets the interception.
And I think Marvin Jones deflected just a little bit as it was coming down right into the hands of Victor Green. So the Jets go to work on their own 29-yard line. They trail by a score of 14-3. Right throws far side. Keyshawn knocked away. Good defensive play. Thomas Smith.
Broken up by Thomas Smith. 2nd and 10.
Ron Earhart Lane standing on that sideline. You know, sometimes it can be a little dangerous. Watch Smith and Keyshawn come to the sideline. Look, guess who that is in the sweatsuit and the green beanie? That is Ron Earhart. It gets a little dangerous out there, doesn't it, Ron? That'll get
Hang in there.
That'll get your attention back in the game, Warren.
Keep you warm, too. Which is a fair amount of importance today. Wind chill factor 14. 2nd down and 10. Oh, we might see a flag. No, we don't.
No, that was good defense, Charlie. That was a simultaneous strip job with the arms there coming from behind. Just a nice job defensively by Ken Irvin, working man-on-man against Keyshawn Johnson coming from the left side of the screen right there.
I still thought he got there just a hair early.
I think really when you're looking at defensive football, you got to give them some benefit of the doubt when it's that close to being right when the ball gets there. I think that penalty is called way too often, a little too quick.
3rd down and 10, still at the 29-yard line. pressure, steps forward, goes deep. Keyshawn is too high. Can't come down with it at the 50-yard line.
Bruce Smith is livid. He is in Bob McElwee's ear right now, trying to make the point that, hey, Jumbo brought me down. But watch Bruce Smith come off the ball and how low he gets. Watch the rip. There's the rip. I mean, Jumbo Elliott's got no choice but to fall on him. He didn't tackle him. He just fell on him. When Bruce Smith gets that rip under there that low, a lineman's got to find a way to use a little weight and gravity and get him down.
This kick is short and will be down by the New York Jets. Jeff Burris was the return man. Flag is down. He decided to stay away from it.
You know what this could be? Coleman was the end man on the formation. He may have been knocked out of bounds and then came back inbounds and touched the ball. That may be the reason for the
Number
flag.
42 on the kicking team went out of bounds, came in to touch the football. That will be a 5-yard penalty and a re-kick if accepted.
You're awesome. You're awesome. All right, while they sort this out, here's a reminder that next Sunday, NBC Sports presents more exciting NFL action, 12 noon Eastern time, with the NFL on NBC. In Game 1, watch another AFC showdown. Jim Harbaugh and the Colts will take on the Buffalo Bills. In the second half of our doubleheader, most of you will see the New York Jets as they host the Houston Oilers. Randy and I will be there. Others of you will see the Jeff Hostetler Raiders host Dan Marino and the Dolphins. That's the NFL on NBC next Sunday, starting at 12 noon Eastern time.
You know, earlier today on NBC, you heard Chris Collinsworth talk about the Oakland Raiders. I thought he was absolutely right, saying this team this year is looking an awful lot like that Raider team that just tucked into a ball, did a dive, and did a nice big belly flop.
The Buffalo Bills start at their own 28-yard line as Kelly goes to Lonnie Johnson, his tight end, and Victor Green is there to wrap him up right at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be second down and 10. Check of the clock. 11 minutes and 47 seconds. Time remaining. We're in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Jets are continuing to attack, and when you attack, you're going to get a lot of play action. And one thing that's very important on play action is tackling. Nice job by Green.
Kelly, nice little touch pass over the middle for the first down to Andre Reed.
You know, you can't call this a hurry up. I think you call this kind of a stroll up offense. When you stroll up and the defense is trying to get set, sometimes you get the matchups you want. Jim Kelly got a matchup there with Reed on a quick little slant action. 3
receptions, 39 yards, pair of touchdowns. Last one good for 14 yards. Buffalo now with 4 wide receivers in this set. And we got whistles before the snap. Do we have timeout? Timeout was called.
New York.
Were they short a man?
Third and last charge timeout.
No, they had 11. They still have a timeout.
Didn't have the right 11.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Release the NFL's top team, the Broncos, as they host the Seahawks. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next Sunday.
Why are they using all those timeouts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers, a linebacker, and Bobby Houston, the linebacker, wisely calls a timeout. They didn't have the right defense.
They had 11 players, but the wrong 11 for that defense against 5 wide. Eric Holmes gets the call here. Just across the 45-yard line. Bobby Hamilton with the tackle. And now Buffalo shows 4 wide. And nothing there for Derek Holmes. Nice play by Lonnie Young, moving up in the secondary and cutting him down.
Moving way up in the secondary. Lonnie Young had to be 15 yards deep, and on the snap, he came screaming to the ball. Left side of the screen, 44. Look how deep he is. That is great recognition. That shows you a guy that has watched tape during the week, seen a formation, and as soon as that ball snapped, he knows where the ball's going.
Third down and 9. 5 wide receivers here. Flag is down. Kelly kind of works his way out, completes the pass to Derek Holmes as he goes down, but we've got flags all around. Ray Mickens makes the tackle. Jets were offside. They're making too many mental mistakes, aren't they?
Offside, number 97, defense.
Marvin
5 yards,
Washington.
Third down.
And it comes from all kinds of different places. I made the comment today earlier when we were doing the show with Collingsworth and the guys and Greg Gumbel that, I thought this was a undisciplined team that doesn't have enough leadership. And mistakes like this, especially coming on those types of situations, is just a discipline problem. I mean, Richie Kotite and the staff, you lose hair and go crazy. Look at him. He's trying to say Kelly's drawing him off, but
well, Kelly is.
I tell you what, no, wrong. The ball doesn't move. A defensive lineman doesn't jump. It's tough, but last time I checked, Richie's guys are pretty well compensated to stay in the darn stance so the ball moves.
No, but Kelly's smart enough to change his cadence. He's outsmarting him with his voice and with his head snap.
Good teams don't do that.
You're right. Inside handoff to Derek Holmes, and Holmes is bumped out of bounds. Jets defense holds, so that means that Chris Moore will come in to kick it away for Buffalo.
Brings up 4th down.
In case you joined us late, the Jets taking the early lead, opening drive, and they go down. Then there's stymied. Nick Larry with a 25-yard field goal. The Bills come right back to take the lead 7-3, and then following an interception, they score again. 2 touchdown passes to Andre Reed. Bills are up 14-3. Here's the kick. Oh, this is a beauty. Whoa! Wayne Trebek will circle away, and it's going to be down in the field of play at about the 1-yard line. Everything working in the first half for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, perfectly. And Marion Kerner, obviously he gets the bounce off a great punt by Moore, but he just is standing on about the half-yard line, 1-yard line. That's an easy one, but that's having the discipline of being where the heck you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be there. Nice job or nice try by Irvin to getting that ball into the end zone, but what a bounce.
Irvin was down. They get the bounce.
Yeah, and the key is, though, he was where he was supposed to be.
That's the whole key. You're absolutely right.
That's team discipline.
So the Jets, rather than the touchback at the 20, they now start from their own 1-yard line.
And Charlie, that's also now being in a hole, listening to a bunch of noise for Reich and this offense backed up here.
Here's Morrell inside. He pops through to the 10. Nice play. Out to the 14-yard line, first down. Kurt Schultz with a pair of interceptions has the tackle on the play, a gain of 13.
Bruce Smith was ready. He was going to pass rush. He was getting in the backfield. He was ready. Watch what Jumbo Elliott does right here on this matchup. You want to see a great one-on-one block?
Whoa, boy.
Yeah, here's a, they call that in college a pancake, but here in the pros, that's called earning your money the right way. That's doing what you're supposed to do.
That one was for Olivia Ann, his new daughter, who was born on Wednesday at 6 pounds, 11 ounces, wife Lisa. Everyone is doing well. And obviously Jumbo is doing well with that last block. Here's Adrian Morrell, the ball carrier, and he is brought down by Phil Hansen.
And remember, you've had some turnovers by the Jets, but this offensive line, I think, is doing a very nice job, well illustrated by that job that Jumbo Elliott did. And, this group of guys has been banged up, but they're getting the yards. They went left side over Jumbo last time. This time they get a good block from Roger Duffy on Ted Washington. They get some good push out of David Williams and Matt O'Dwyer on the other side. So, you can blame a lot of things that have happened, but you can't blame anything on that line right now. They're doing a heck of a job.
Anderson comes outside in motion, going deep over the middle, and it is caught. And it's Fred Baxter, the number 2 tight end for the Jets, in a double tight end set. Kurt Schultz and Covington with a tackle. 23 yards, and just a moment ago, the Jets with their own 1-yard line.
Hey, Baxter, right side of the screen, 84, lines up and just heads right up that seam in the defense. Being chased in the coverage right there, and it didn't really seem to affect him because he had the ball dropped in just perfectly by Frank Reich. Damian Covington was right there, but Reich put it right down the hole.
First down, Jets their own 43-yard line. 7.5 minutes left to go. First half is Morrell. And Adrian to about the 46, maybe the 47-yard line, where Phil Hansen brings him down.
Gain, 2nd and 6.
Well, Morrell and the running backs for the New York Jets will take an ice bath tomorrow when they get back to the Jets facility, because when you run the ball on a consistent basis against this defense, you are going to earn your yards. You're not going to get real rich running against these guys, but what it does is it really sets things up for Frank Reich and the receivers. If you can run the ball, you can play action. If you can play action, you can get big plays.
And now, Adrian Morrell needs only 4 yards to become the third 1,000-yard rusher in Jet history. Right to throw. Good protection underneath the coverage. Pass is complete, and stretching out for all that he is worth is Wayne Gravel. That was second down. Usually makes that move on third down.
Well, you know, very, very important too. The protection there for Frank Reich. He was completely alone back there. Bruce Smith got there in the general vicinity late, but Frank Reich is getting the protection from the offensive line. Watch Jumbo Elliott right there working against Bruce Smith. You know, you push, and that's not even pressure. That's just incidental contact.
Here is an update on the San Diego, Kansas City game. Don't count out the Chargers. They are leading the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium now by a score of 21-0. Adrian Morrell off to the right side. He got 3. Did he get 4? We're checking for the official statistician. He's right at it. If he doesn't have it then, he'll have it the next time.
Ball's being spotted, Charlie, just past the 45-yard line. Just over the other side of the 45-yard line. So, I mean, another good job on that right side. Good job of push by the Jets offense.
That is 4 yards officially. That is 1,000 yards. First time the Jets have had a 1,000-yard rusher since Freeman McNeil.
Only the third Jet. McNeil did it twice.
That's right.
John Riggins did it once.
Here's Morrell. Got Washington and Damian Covington push him back.
Yeah, one thing you're going to start seeing here out of this Buffalo defense and Jets offensive line is things could start getting a little nasty. You know, if they insist on just smashing the ball at Wade Phillips' defense.
Too cold to be nasty.
No, don't being nasty is cold weather. You don't get nasty in hot weather. That burns up too many calories and too much energy. But you can get nasty for days when it's this cold.
Just
you
to
can
keep you warm.
You can play 2 games. It helps keep you warm. They're going to start swinging and punching and kicking.
Be a warm nasty. Reich has pressure and he's going down. That is the first sack today by the Buffalo Bills. Bruce Smith was part of it.
And how do you do it, Charlie?
Accepting the accolade.
Yeah, I mean, how do you do it? If you're having a hard time getting over Jumbo on that outside, well, they do what Buffalo does. They move him around and they stun him. And on that stunt, they had
clean.
Well, whoa. Jumbo Elliott is going inside to try to get Bruce Smith, and Galbraith, the left guard, is coming out. See that? And Bruce Smith comes completely clean. That is bad coordination.
And on the all-time sack list, 138.
He keeps going up and up. He ain't going to catch Reggie anytime soon, but they both have the NFL record with 10 seasons of 10 sacks or more.
5 wide receivers for the Jets, and we've got whistles. Of course, we haven't heard from Deacon Jones yet. Actually, against the Jets, another mistake that cost him 5 yards. Deacon says, you know, of course, Deacon Jones, the great defensive lineman, along with Lamar Lundy and Merlin Olsen, and who was the fourth of the fearsome foursome?
Roosevelt Greer.
Thank you. The sack stat was not kept then when you were watching it.
No, they weren't. They weren't considered sacks. But, you know, it's an all-time record. If they don't count him, I guess they don't count. But, I mean, Deacon Jones is the best pass rusher who ever lived.
Again, 5 wide receivers.
Now, the flag was not thrown, but the whistle was blown on the near side by the side judge.
The official couldn't get the judge out of it, couldn't get the flag out of his pocket. He was trying to.
False start.
Frozen flag.
Start of the snap. 76 offense.
That's on Jumbo.
They're allowed to jump and poison stuff?
What did he say?
He says, if I can't hear, are they still allowed to jump off? Watch that Jumbo Elliott coming off the ball, and to his defense, it is loud here, and Bruce Smith is going.
Yeah.
That was barely a rock.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
but it is.
It's a rock.
Yeah,
it's a rock, definitely. I mean, but, you know, with this kind of crowd noise, and you got Bruce Smith out there who's got, you know, all fast twitch muscle fiber. There's no slow twitch in Bruce Smith, and he will twitch when you twitch.
Third down and 27. Here's the screen. Pass is complete. Richie Anderson behind the screen. And he is going to come about 8 yards shy of the first down as he moves to the 43-yard line of Buffalo, where Ken Urban makes the tackle. Brian Hansen comes in.
Yeah, that was
They
a nice
punted
call,
away.
though, Charlie.
Yes, it
You've
was.
had some rapid reverse going in your offense with penalties, and you call a screen. And what they did there is they used some of that fast switch muscle fiber of Bruce Smith. They pulled him upfield, they cut him, and they ran the screen right on top of him.
Jeff Burrows is the punt returner. He wants it straight up and straight back, straight down. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 14-yard line. About as good as you can do, unless you get the great bounce that the Buffalo Bills got earlier. Bills lead it 14-3. Back in a moment. 15-yard line. And he runs there. He goes up the middle, and he has 5 yards to the 20-yard line. Victor Green stops him at that point.
You know, players see guys like that. You know, Bruce Smith will see a guy like that every week if he dresses like that, you know. And I guarantee you, he'll come on the field and he'll look over and his buddies on defense go, your guy's back again. Yeah, I see him. I see him. Just ignore him. Maybe he'll go away.
Holmes carries again. Good news on Thurman Thomas. The x-ray's negative, but he will not be returning today.
You know, one thing, and that is good news for Buffalo, but one thing you have to point out here, Charlie, the great job that the New York Jets offense did, backed way up by that Chris Moore punt, and they went against Bruce Smith in this defense of Buffalo. They banged the ball all the way out, and now they've got Buffalo backed up in a little hole.
Game of field position. Now they go deep, and it is incomplete.
Oh, look at it. They want a little interference here in Buffalo. They're screaming and yelling about guys falling on their legs. And
Lasker, the intended receiver.
yeah, you got a little
Greenwood.
incidental contact. That happens. Guys trip. Guys fall. See, you got Greenwood working down the field. He starts to turn. That is not illegal. That is not a penalty. I mean, you got to start giving these defensive guys that kind of leeway. I'm getting sick and tired of everything being slanted towards the offense, and that's hard for me to say because I played offense.
All right, Chris Moore. This is high, and George Trebet comes under it. Fair catch, and he has this one at the 33-yard line. And with that play, 1:57 left. That means a 2-minute warning. We've got a timeout. Back in a moment. Bills lead by 11. Running up the score.
They don't watch college on Saturday?
They have to be. That's the modus operandi. 5 wide receivers, no good. Graham, the intended receiver. The colleges do it though because they have the polls. You know, and everybody trying to, play the number game for the polls.
Well, I'll be interested to see what they have to say. There's a lot of talk of, about certain teams. I played for one of them that people complained last week in that Baltimore-San Francisco game. They didn't need to get Elvis Gerbach those last couple of touchdowns and whatnot, but it's the other guy's job.
To score too.
The other guy's job's to stop them.
Well, and also the field goal by Dallas.
I'll be interested too to get Mike and Joe's perspective.
I like that.
I thought that stuff personally.
No, give a chance to tie the record. Why not? Trebet read the defense, cut off the route, and Reich didn't read the defense the same way, and he misses him by about 5 yards.
Well, I think right there you're getting Frank Reich is pointing out to Wayne Trebet where he maybe should have been. He sat down when he saw the defense, and when he sat down, Frank thought he should have broke out. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of like being at a chalkboard with an argument.
Yeah.
The guy with the chalk wins, and when the quarterback's got the ball, he's the guy with the chalk. The receiver loses out.
And speaking of breaking out, you were looking at Keyshawn to see if he could break out on the far side in the last play. Now he's wide to the near side. As man coverage, pressure sack down to the 20-yard line. Bill Hanson and Sam Rogers were there.
Bill Hanson and Sam Rogers.
Well, that Jets offensive line did such a good job in this first half up until that one sack and the bad coordination by Bruce Smith on the last possession. Another stunt with Hanson inside and Bruce Smith outside. Smith came in, Hanson went out, and Reich went down.
And Buffalo takes a timeout. They now have 2 timeouts remaining. The Jets have no timeouts remaining. That's Brian Hanson, number 11, the kicker. They have stopped the clock, they being Buffalo, 1 minute, 46 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. And the Buffalo Bills are in front of the Jets by a score of 14-3. Next Sunday, the Jets return home. They will be hosting Houston. That's a 4 o'clock game, second half of the doubleheader. And Buffalo is going to be indoors at Indianapolis.
Yeah, one thing I noticed after doing that Notre Dame game yesterday and in the last couple of weeks, Nobody runs in the NFL. College, the officials run back and forth, and the players run on the field and off the field. This should be the SFL, the Strolling Football League.
Well, it's a stroll on a Sunday afternoon, and it's a very cold Sunday afternoon. Wind chill factor was 14 at the kickoff. I think it's dropped down to maybe 10 or 12. Here's Burris on the return. Flags are down.
Burris returns the punt. There is a flag on the play.
The Bills will have excellent field position if this holds up.
Not for long, Charlie.
Okay.
He had a little illegal block in the back, I believe, or hold.
Well, the excellent field position is not so good as it was a moment ago.
Ever so briefly.
Yes.
And what really makes this hurt, it's not from the point of the return.
Holding. Number 28 during the run back. 10-yard penalty. First down.
We see Buffalo. We've seen them in the no huddle, in the K-gun, in the hurry up, you know, the different numbers, names that they have for it. On a cold day like this, is that an advantage? Does it offensively? Do you stay warmer that way?
This is springtime to these guys. I mean, yeah, that's why they're in short sleeves. It's no big
Springtime in
deal.
Buffalo.
See, now these people are static. See, the folks in the stands are smart. They got the silly hats, and you got the.
No, there's the one guy.
You got it. Well, there's got to be an idiot. Every section in a stadium in a city like this has a designated idiot. The designated idiot takes his shirt off.
We're taking volunteers in the booth. Kelly fires, and it is caught into traffic. Quinn Early has the reception. He had two receivers in the same area. Two defenders were also there. Pass is complete. Three wide receivers. This is the K-gun.
They're just running their normal offense, so there's no hurry up.
No.
They're just getting the thing done.
They do it a little bit quicker. Kelly, lob pass as he is going down to Steve Tasker. Nice play. And he'll stop the clock with a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Bills are up by 11.
That is a veteran really running this new offense well.
Marvin White breaks all over him. Here comes the blitz. Steps forward. Still caught. Nice catch by Tasker.
More importantly, Charlie, Tasker gets out of bounds. Another veteran play.
And Victor Green tried to bat it away, and Tasker held on.
Wait, now watch the end. You want to talk about a receiver who suddenly remembers, oh yeah, I'm getting out of bounds. Look at this. He goes up, he cuts up the field, and then he says, oh, where's the sideline? I get my extra yards, but I'm also getting the first down and get out of bounds.
Tasker, 3 receptions, matching his uniform number, 89 yards. 35-yard line, Jets. 55 seconds time remaining first half. Buffalo has 1 timeout remaining. Kelly throws to him, drops it in. It's Andre Reed slipping 1 tackle and then out of bounds. He stops the clock. 12-yard line.
Well, when Jim Kelly's got this thing going with Andre Reed, and they got the timing working, it's a beautiful thing to watch. Because, you know, here's a quarterback that's, I think, really to be commended. Everyone in the world, especially up here in northern New York, was ripping this guy a new one at the beginning of the year. Just saying he's too old. He can't throw. What's this guy done? He's taken it all. Those same people, by the way, now that he's playing well, are patting him on the back. But, I mean, this guy has got the arm still to play in this offense. He throws 25 passes. They're going to pound the ball. He's adjusted perfectly.
Timeout. Kelly has completed 9 of 13. That's something, like you say, they want to throw 20, maybe 25 times. 9 of 13. Here, of course, we'll see a little bit more because they'll be working against the clock at the end of the half. 157 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and for me to say something like that, I obviously catch a lot of grief from some people. They go, hey, look at his stats. He's got X number of interceptions. He's got all these interceptions and not many touchdowns. But, you know, he got off to a bad start. He had a horrendous couple of games. You know, one up here against Miami. He had that Monday night game against Pittsburgh, and things were going terrible. We saw him the first time they played the Jets the night before the game, and it's about as down as I've ever seen this guy. But since that time, when they really started going back to the no huddle, using their new style of offense, not the old style, the new style without a huddle, it's been a totally different Buffalo offense, a totally different Jim Kelly.
And here, of course, you look to Andre Reed, number 83 for the Buffalo Bills. 2 touchdown receptions in the ballgame. He has caught 4 for 61. Favorite target of Jim Kelly, of course, as that duo continues to combine for scoring plays. First down, 12-yard line, 48 seconds left first half. Trying to mix it up on the ground. Nothing is there for Derrick Owens. He's going to get a couple of yards to the 10. Trying to spread the Jet defense. Now, here's where the hurry-up offense that they are so used to doing pays off.
Hey, we've got plenty of time, Charlie. I mean, this offense can get a play off in 15 seconds, no problem. Even with an audible, he's going to get it off in 15 seconds. So there's 40 left. There's 26, 25.
Ken Hull, at center, had to turn and look to see. Pump fake, flag is down. Kelly is down. Clock is stopped. 21 seconds.
Timing is the best friend of an offense and a quarterback, and sometimes timing can be the worst because you start getting off the ball late and turn around and don't know where to go with it. Gets people in bad positions, and when linemen get in bad positions, they hold.
Holding. Number 79, offense.
On Reuben Brown, the guard.
Second down.
Reuben Brown, one of the many offensive linemen for the Buffalo Bills who was hurt this week, didn't practice much with a bad ankle. Ostrowski, number 60, limping a little bit right now. He also was hurt this week and didn't practice much. Right on the left-hand side of the screen, you see Reuben Brown do a little takedown job just out of the screen as he got twisted around.
Ball placed at the 20-yard line. Second down, Kelly goes to the corner on a deep fade pattern, and it's there for a touchdown. Steve Tasker. And Kelly comes up limping.
Yeah, he's been hit an awful lot. I mean, they've gotten him low. They've grabbed him by the legs. They got a shot on him there. But when you're having this kind of a day, I don't like the chances of trying to tell Mr. Kelly that he has to come out of a ball game. This is not a guy who's got the best wheels in the world. He doesn't move around great. He tends to be a target in the pocket. There's a bit of a target there. He isn't hit too bad by Douglas, but looks like he kind of caught a cramp. How do you cramp it at 14 degrees?
The extra point is good, and Buffalo moves up by a score of 21-3 over the New York Jets. We still have 15 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. Here's a program note as Kelly comes up limping.
Now watch what happens. Watch what happens here, Charlie. You know, when the ball goes up, it's everybody's ball. But, you know, so far today, when the ball's gone up anywhere near the end zone, it's been the guys in blue's ball because the defensive backs for the Jets either have been late or haven't looked.
And here is Kelly. He's just going into the locker room early. He's completed 10 of 14 for 176, 3 touchdowns, and he leads the music. He cranks up the band as he goes into halftime. Meanwhile, Tasker's full reception, 108 yards and a touchdown. Remember, he had that big 62-yard reception right out of the box.
Well, 108's a great game, much less a good half.
That it is.
You know, once again, coming up at halftime, the guys at the studio can do that, running up the score and get the highlights going on what's happening earlier today. And yeah, I really want to see what Ditka and Gibbs have to say about that running up the score thing, because I seem to remember both those teams adhering to the old saying that you know, never hit a man when he's down, kick him, it's easier. Those Redskins used to pound on people, and I think my Ditka's Bears, and specifically '85, were known to score a few touchdowns on people late in the game when maybe they didn't necessarily need to.
Steve Christie is going to kick it away. And he just squirts it through. That's one of those high bouncers. The clock starts when the ball has been touched in the field of play, so that'll run off 5 seconds. That's Kyle Brady, the tight end, that comes up with it.
Kyle Brady has touched the ball more today in the first half than he has in the entire rest of the season coming up to today. So
he's been a participant. That's what they expected.
Kyle's working hard to block. He's working hard to get open, but I keep having those meetings with the offensive coaches if I was Kyle and the tight end, pointing out that the tight end position is allowed to catch too.
Well, they've thrown to him 4 times, and he's pulled in 2 of them. 48-yard line. Jets in their own territory. They send a Hail Mary down the right side. Right throws, and he's going to be sacked.
Hanson and Bruce Smith. Look at that high-low, and Reich is down.
They had to buy some time to allow his 3 wide receivers to get to the end zone.
Charlie
That's
Reich,
what they were doing, and
Reich got hammered. He is
did.
down.
he got a triple pancake on top of him by the linebackers of the Bills that were chasing. Bruce Smith was there. Phil Hansen was also there.
It wasn't the guy he could see that got him. It was the Bruce Smith from the back that he couldn't see that delivered the blow. And Bruce Smith, after a slow start, and this defense really came to work in the last half of the second quarter against Frank Reich and this offense.
Dangerous one is the one you can hear but not see.
Well, here you go. I mean, at the end here, he can see Phil Hansen. See, he's avoiding Phil Hansen.
Whoops.
Hello. Hello. Bruce Smith's been awful tough on Jets quarterbacks today. He knocked Boomer out last year. It's been a tough time.
We'll be going to New York, but first, these messages from your local station and a word from the NFL.
The passer against the New York Jets, so they'll add some more yards onto that play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 92, going into the back of the legs.
Bobby
Into the
Hamilton.
back of the legs.
Exactly. This week, Charlie, Jerry Seaman, the head of the officials, visited the Detroit Lions to tell them about the things they're doing low into the legs on the quarterbacks. The league is going to look closer and closer at this, and if you go down low, this is what you're going to get. You go down into a quarterback's legs. I don't care if it's momentum and you're being pushed. You better find a way to hit turf, hit grass, or whatnot. The officials are going to call that when you get into the back of the legs. I don't care if your lineman has pushed it.
But he has no place else to go.
Well, he has.
What
You got to do, if you're a coach, you got to tell the guy to go down. You're not going to get there for the.
Go down and roll.
You got to get
to the
down,
ground.
hit the ground.
And speaking of hitting the ground, and then nailed to the ground is Todd Collins, and Hugh Douglas was there to cover him immediately. We have the report officially. Jim Kelly will not return in the second half of the ballgame.
You know, and part of what you're talking about there in going low, and you're going to see here, Collins get the ball and get stepped on and fall down rather ungloriously, take a seat there, and Hugh Douglas covers him up. But you know, you got to take care of the quarterbacks. I talked about defense getting called too much, but you got to take care of the quarterback position.
Has a man wide open and hits him at the 11-yard line. It's Steve Tasker. Tasker is having an awesome game. First half, over 100 yards. First time in regular season. I think he's just taking a deep breath. That he was over 100 yards in a regular season game. He did it once in a playoff game against Miami. And he just continues to rock and roll here in the second half.
Well, you know, right now the Buffalo receivers are taking turns being the lonely end. Because the lonely end is the guy that's all there by himself and catches a pass. And Tasker just comes out there. It's nothing special. He doesn't put this all-world move on anybody. It's just suddenly he's by himself before Lonnie Young can drag him down.
Tasker, 34 yards on that play, 5 receptions, 142 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, Lonnie Johnson lined up at the left tight end, just came barreling off the ball early there.
Meanwhile, Buffalo was running out of time on the play clock, and they had called timeout. Yep.
Before the action. Timeout, Buffalo.
You saw the countdown on your screen, and they did make it just barely. So we'll step aside for a moment. We'll be back in Buffalo.
Why stop any other store?
This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross in the cold of Buffalo as the Bills threaten with 3 tight ends on this set to score on their opening drive of the second half. Derrick Holmes is pushed away.
Ball's on the ground.
Everything. It's still being fought for at the bottom of the stack.
Well, Derrick Holmes went into the stack and came out of the stack, but he came out of the stack without the ball.
And it's not the first man there, it's the last man who has the ball. Strong arms at the bottom of the pile. Sometimes you just don't want to give up, do you? The Jets have recovered the fumble. And finally coming out with the football.
Well, you know, on that play,
Green.
Marv Levy's offense had the whole thing going on exactly what they wanted. You mentioned the 3 tight ends. They brought short motion with 1 tight end, Robert Coons. Look at Holmes go in, but look at the job that's done defensively by the Jets, by Rick Hamilton, meeting him in the hole and jarring that ball loose.
So the Jets now will start on their own 2-yard line. In the first half, remember, they started on their 1. Adrian Morrell gets a call. Washington with the tackle in that situation, and they fought their way out, and they had to punt. And Buffalo took over their own 15-yard line.
Frank Reich's lucky he got that ball off, because Phil Hansen was right there almost at the exchange point tackling Frank Reich, getting penetration. You're looking for penetration defensively in this situation. Look at Phil Hansen. He was right there tripping him off. Nice job of concentration by Reich getting Morrell that ball.
Morrell almost a safety. He gets out of the end zone. He saves the Jets a couple of points by avoiding the safety. Chris Spielman and Phil Hansen were there for Buffalo.
Remember, the penetration's the key. Last time it was Phil Hansen. This time it's Bruce Smith. Watch 78 coming from the inside at the defensive tackle position. Look at the penetration. He gets that first penetration. That sets up Spielman getting his shot right there at the goal line.
So it is 3rd down and 8 with the ball at the 4-yard line. Adrian Morrell is the remaining back. Reich to throw. And it is caught, dropped right through the hands of Keyshawn Johnson. Should have had that one.
Well, he had the matchup he wanted too, because he had Sam Rogers, the linebacker, on coverage. Just watch where the ball comes into Johnson. See Sam Rogers going into that linebacker drop position. Had to completely change his body position, but he had a chance to get both hands on the ball. You're right. Should have caught that one.
Had to turn around, but you make those plays when you play at that level.
Well, watch Hansen's feet. He's right at the back of the end zone.
He's the punter. He gets it away. Jeff Burrows is the return man, and he will chase it over the sidelines. It's going to go out of bounds. So the Buffalo Bills will have the ball when we come back, and they have the lead 21-3. Here in Buffalo, the cold of Buffalo. Wind chill factor now single digit down to 9. And the Bills go to work on their own 49-yard line. Buffalo out in front by a score of 21-3. Collins with good protection throws and misses everybody. So it'll be 2nd down. Steve Tasker, the intended receiver. Todd Collins in relief of Jim Kelly with the hamstring twinge right at the end of the first half. And he is still in the locker room, has not come out, will not play in the second half.
Well, watch Tasker coming across there at the top of the screen. That's just good defense. There's nowhere for Tasker to go. You know, sometimes you get the pick by the receivers. In that case, the defense is right where it's supposed to be, keeping the receiver away.
Here's Derek Holmes. And Holmes has 3 or 4 yards off the right side. The Bills also without the services of Thurman Thomas, who has a leg injury. The x-ray's negative. He will not return, as he was kind of spun under and caught some heavy bodies on top of him about the 3-yard line in the first half. That was in the first quarter.
Well, and that injury to Jim Kelly is nothing new. He's had a hamstring coming into this game that's bothered him about 3 or 4 plays before he came out. He was twinging a little on that leg.
3rd down and 6. 3-step drop. Incomplete. Good defensive play. And that was Marcus Coleman knocking it away from Andre Reed. Good coverage on it. And again, going back to what you talked about in the first half, the defense should be allowed to play that close.
Well, and look at the job that he does, because the ball is thrown in the proper position. I mean, look at this. It's low and inside, and look at that right arm coming around. That is good, strong defensive play by Coleman. Done it the last couple of weeks. I think the Jet coaches have found themselves a heck of a defensive back.
Chris Moore is kicking to Corbett. He wants another one of those ups and downs, and we down it, but it's a fair catch at the 10-yard line. He is kicking for field position and doing an excellent job today. Here's a program note. Thanksgiving Day, by the way, from Randy and myself to all of you watching today, let us be the first to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day, NBC Sports will be pulling the legs on the turkey with you, presenting more exciting NFL action at the special time of 12 noon Eastern time with the NFL on NBC. Then a football feast. Marcus Allen, the Kansas City Chiefs, battle Barry Sanders, who, by the way, went over 1,000 yards today for the 8th consecutive year. The Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs, Thanksgiving Day, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time here on the home of the Peacock NBC.
Every Thanksgiving Day is a Barry show in Detroit.
It is. You're absolutely right. Now, is that a blown play?
If it's not, it's missing a heck of an opportunity. I mean,
I am tired of being your straight man.
It is the second or third time Frank Reich has turned the ball around to give the ball off. And, you know, Ron Earhart's got to be saying right now, you almost read his lips saying, you know, what the heck's going on?
Well, you know what? Adrian looked up, and Bruce Smith, who was sliding to the left, was right in the middle of the hole at the same time.
Well, Adrian Morrell was going to where he was supposed to be a little quicker than Frank Reich was ready to give him the balls. What happened?
Well, let's see what happens here. Second down and 12 from the end zone, far side. Keyshawn flat drops it. Now, the one that he spun around where he could, you could say okay, but that one you do not drop.
Well, a fine interview this morning also on NBC. Bob Costas talking to Keyshawn Johnson about the frustrations of playing on a team losing like this. Well, you know, one of the things you got to do to relieve frustration is when you get a chance to make a play. The young man out of the University of Southern California, the #1 pick in the draft, got to take advantage of those situations, and he's not mad at anybody right here but Keyshawn Johnson.
And by the way, congratulations to your Bruins defeating Southern California yesterday in overtime.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but thank you.
I thought I'd get in early. Look out. Pass is complete. They're going to mark it at the 2-yard. It's not a safety.
No, but he was hit there, but that is all set up by Bruce Smith.
Nope.
This Jets offensive line was doing a good job on the Buffalo defenders the first quarter and a half, but Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen have started stunting and moving, and that's the second time Jumbo Elliott has tried to get a cut block on Bruce Smith on that screen, and you're going to get him once, maybe twice, and it's going to be effective, but then you're going to start giving him up and giving up shots on your quarterback.
Ryan Hansen again right at the back edge of the end zone. If he steps back, it's a safety. He steps back out of the end zone. Jeff Burrows is the return man. He takes it at the 49-yard line, has 3 yards on the return. He's going to get about 5 tops on the return. And we will step aside with 9:43 time remaining here in the third quarter. Bills are up 21-3.
They've done with the mistakes the Jets have made, and they've taken advantage of most of them.
Derrick Holmes pumping through the crowd and then taken out of bounds.
Watch out for the heater.
Yeah.
The heater can be your friend or it can be your enemy. You saw Holmes, he kind of brushed into it initially. But look at that thing back. I could have hit that thing.
Yeah, but I got warm while I was there.
But I'll tell you what, Derrick Holmes, he's not having a great day stats-wise. He's getting good yards. He fumbled on the last possession, but if you give me a matchup like that, he's being driven out of bounds by Lonnie Young, but I'll take Derrick Holmes against that heater. I don't care what that heater does or how high it is. I like Holmes in that matchup.
35-yard line in New York, first down. On the draw, here's Holmes again. Heads for the heater, and he's dropped around the 25-yard line. Lonnie Young makes the tackle once again.
And, you know, this young guy, Holmes, has really done a nice job this year subbing in for Thurman Thomas. You know, and Thomas is getting on in the years. We talked about his try to be the 8th guy to get 1,000 yards consecutive seasons, as Barry Sanders has already done today. But one of the reasons is he can stay fresh because Derrick Holmes is such a good change of pace.
Second down and 1. He plows straight through. Right now, he is, you could call it this, the remaining back for the Buffalo Bills. Thurman Thomas is injured. Jason Bratton, the rookie free agent, we saw him some in the first half. He was on the practice squad. They brought him up. I thought really they brought him up as a warm body, but they saw some action in the first half. There he is, number 29. But in the second half, it's been all Derrick Holmes, and he is the remaining back. And he gets it again. He said something else to us. Remember when we talked to him in New York about Thurman Thomas? He said, and he's helped me on the field. He said, I love the K-gun because Thurman gets a little tired. I get to go in and run more with the football. He said, but he's also helped me off the field. He showed me places to go, things to do, and he's also pointed out areas that I shouldn't go to. Said he's really been an older brother type influence.
Yeah, well, it's always great to have that as a young player, but the style of running back that Holmes is, Charlie, he knows where he belongs, and right behind that offensive line is doing a good job now.
Into the end zone, it is caught. Steve Tasker has his second touchdown reception of the ballgame.
Well, what did we tell you earlier? They might have a different quarterback, but the offense stays the same. You know, the lonely end has got another touchdown, but at that time he wasn't so lonely because Richie Kotite had a defender with him. Collins dropped that one in perfectly.
And Tasker with 160 yards, career high. Remember we said this was his first 100-yard receiving game regular season. They had one in the playoffs. Well, we're over this afternoon. It may be his first 200 yards receiving game. Extra point is up, and it is good. As the Buffalo Bills have stretched the margin now to 28-3. We'll be back for the kickoff in a moment. Jay Randolph is the host of the game. Now, let's go back to the touchdown to Steve Tasker.
Well, you know, you got to look at the protection that Collins gets. It starts out really good, but watch Tasker is working in the slot. He's getting the protection. Now, right now, he's going to throw the ball. Look at the coverage down the field. Tasker is covered, but Collins throws this ball into the far corner and makes the receiver Tasker go about 15, 20 yards to get that pass. Great touch and good faith, too, knowing your receiver's going to get there.
And the second touchdown reception of the ball game for Tasker. Here's Morrell to the outside. Has a bit of the corner, and he'll go out a couple of yards shy of the first down. He's going to pick up, about 8 yards on the play. Kurt Schultz and Thomas Smith chase him out.
Well, this is the best thing that can happen for Frank Reich, really, in this situation. Because you get down on this defense, and you're down 28-3. Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen, and this defense is waiting to take your head off. You've got to have some sort of a running game occasionally to take it away. See, Morrell's gotten, 15 for 75, not bad, but the problem's been Bruce Smith and the passes.
Reich has time, throws back underneath the coverage at the 50-yard line, and it is incomplete to Kyle Brady. Brady with a pair of receptions in the ballgame. That is the 5th pass that has been thrown his way.
Watch the matchup again. Bruce Smith now working against Harry Galbraith. What happens? He's been a problem. No problem there. Jumbo Elliott gets a nice block on Gabe Northern, 99, and Galbraith keeps Smith out. What they've done in this first half is they've used that speed by Smith, and they've taken advantage of the stunts and blitzes on coordination on the line to get to Reich.
They're down about a yard and a half for the first down. There's the first down, popping through, making a cut, lost his balance when Morrell made his cut to the left. Kurt Schultz and Matt Stevens were there to cover him immediately, and the Jets have a first down, and they are on the move, although they trail in the ball game 28-3.
Watch Jumbo Elliott right here working against Bruce Smith. We've seen him try to cut him on some screen blocks. Well, right here, he cuts him, he gets him on the ground, and that's what sets up that back hole cut and that back hole play for his running back, Adrian Morrell. See, watch. Smith's on the ground, he can't get up, and that blur you see, or don't see, was Adrian Morrell going where Bruce Smith should have been.
And the Jets running out of time on the play clock with a first down at the Bills' 40-yard line. Take a timeout. And they had the same problem in the first half.
They waste another timeout. Yep. That's communication, between the guys on the sideline, in the box, and on the field. And, once a game is one thing, but when that keeps happening repetitively, you just got to wonder. I mean, you can't keep wasting these type of situations and timeouts. I mean, you're down this kind of a score, 28-3. You need it.
Tonight, this is one of my favorite movies. I've seen this about 3 times. And if it's on the flight home, I'll be watching it tonight again. But you at home can watch Maverick. Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster show how the West was really won.
Was that fast? I thought that was fast.
James Garner co-stars in Maverick. That's tonight after Third Rock right here on NBC.
James Garner, the original Maverick.
Yes. That's a good movie. That's 2 of my favorite people, James Garner and Mel Gibson. They are both great.
Yeah, and Frank Reich. Remember that company we were talking about?
Yes.
Plenty of company, because Gabe Northern and Bruce Smith, who were blocked a couple plays ago, this is what's known as a jailbreak. Remember the stunts and the blitzes and the coordination? All of the above. He trips on his own feet, basically going back. But it was me.
But he's in a hurry to get back.
It was merely a technicality, because he was going down. Last time they played, ought. This time, he's got 5, but I tell you what, Bruce Smith and company are all inside of Frank Reich's and this offensive line's head right now in the last quarter or so.
Three wide receivers. Here's Morrell on the draw. Morrell has rushed for 88 yards in the ball game. Give him a couple more up to 90. Ted Washington with the tackle.
Well, you know, he's having as good a day as anybody's had against this Buffalo defense running the ball. Remember Jerome Bettis in the Monday night game earlier in the year just ripped these guys up, and hardly anybody's been able to run well against these guys, and some big name backs, but they're running the ball effectively. The problem's been the turnovers, and they haven't been able to handle the pass rush. See, look at what some of these guys have done. I mean, some of the best running backs in the league have not run for many yards against this defense.
Jets now with 5 wide receivers. Reich steps forward. He goes deep into double coverage, and it is out of bounds, incomplete. Alex Van Dyke, the intended receiver. Kurt Schultz was there.
Yeah, that's a case right there. Reich had to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen and see what was going on downfield with his receivers. You know, because, you know, going on downfield is hope. Because you start seeing guys coming loose, you got to move around a little bit. That's when the hope comes in. And when you're throwing it into that small of an area, that is a hope pass. It's not a hope chest, it's a hope pass.
And you notice how quick that Bruce Smith gets off the ball. Well, Phil Hansen is right behind it. That defensive line of Buffalo is really quick. Here's the kick. It is over the head of the return man, and it is going to be a touchback. They'll rule it a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, where Buffalo will go to work. We have a timeout. Buffalo leading 28-3. In the third quarter.
But from Buffalo's standpoint, Charlie, more is better.
Collins a fake and then an inside handoff on a reverse. It's good for about 8 yards as we take a reverse to New York. Greg Gumbel with an update.
All right, Charlie, and Minnesota change of the lead again. Brad Johnson from 10 yards out. Watch the great catch in the end zone by Chris Carter. He got both feet down, held onto the ball with the extra point. 17-14. Vikings with the lead on the Broncos. 14 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, Charlie.
Thank you, Greg. And we also have an update from Baltimore we'll pass on right after this running play by Derek Holmes. And that is in the Baltimore game at halftime. The coordinators were going back up to the press box after meeting, and the elevator got stuck. And they were there the whole third quarter. And they had to come with axes to tear the door down so they could get in.
Marv Levy, happy to be on the sideline. I wouldn't want to imagine. I couldn't see. I mean, you got Wade Phillips there and Marv Levy, and they might be cold, but they're not stuck.
No, that's right. They're not in an elevator.
They got somewhere to go. And they got a lot of places to go when you're up 28-3 like this, and a young quarterback like Collins running this offense pretty good for Kelly.
He certainly is. Pass far side, it is complete. That's Eric Moles. Moles primarily a return man, 12 receptions on the year coming into the ball game. That is his 13th. Lonnie Young with the tackle.
Well, the reason Moles is in is on that last little inside reverse with Steve Tasker. Tasker came limping off the field, a little dinged up on this, but you know, this guy was a #1 pick, and sometimes fans and I think coaches get a little frustrated. Why aren't we getting more out of these guys? Moles is going to be all right. It's just going to take a little longer.
And here is Derek Holmes.
Yeah, Derek Holmes he's trying to find that heater. Look at him.
I think you're right.
I don't know if he's talking to guys or he's trying to find that space heater over there, as Steve Tasker is trying to work out that little kink he came off the field with earlier. But they might not need Tasker and company right now. They keep running this ball effectively with Derek Holmes on the field. The lonely end theory might have to change to another Buffalo receiver.
3 wide receivers of first down. Collins stands in. Now he steps away. And he throws it incomplete.
There's a flag right there. Got a hold against Buffalo. Trying to prevent further damage to your quarterback. When things start breaking down like that and guys get away, sometimes you just have to rely on your quarterback that he can get rid of it. You don't have to hold.
But in that case, you'd rather hold it and have somebody take a shot at it.
Number 79, offense. 10 yards, first down.
Reuben Brown. Now, you were an offensive line with the 49ers. Now, what was that situation with you all? I I mean, you just react. Did you grab somebody and pull them down in that case? If they knew they had a free shot at the quarterback?
Oh, without a doubt. You always do.
Yeah.
You know, hey, can you tell Marv Levy's the guy's been here for a while? I mean, he's been in Buffalo for a lot of years. No hat, no stocking cap. You get a shot of Wade Phillips, who spent all those years in New Orleans, and he was in Denver a little bit where it's good. Look at Wade. He has taken no chances. He is going to be warm.
He's not ready for this goal yet. It is fumbled on the exchange. The ball is loose.
Still loose.
And a scramble for it. Derek Holmes missing on the exchange from Todd Collins, and we believe Holmes is a man. But watch him there. He's great. He's got a death grip on it.
Buffalo had it. Holmes had it a little while ago. It's a matter of who comes out of the dog pile with it.
And the official comes out and points out he went and checked it all out and said it is Derek Holmes that has it.
It's about the 4th time today, too. Bob McElwee, our referee, has lost his hat.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's throwing that thing down to try to mark something or start sticking his head in those dog piles like that. You start losing those things. And not only do you lose your hat, you lose the ball. And you got Lucci trying to get down at it. You got Holmes trying to get down at it. And you got the ball back, and Bob McElwee's got his hat back.
Meanwhile, it is 2nd down and 23. Wide receivers. Here's the screen. It is high. It is pulled down by Holmes, and Holmes then is pulled down along the far side by Bobby Houston.
10-yard gain. 3rd and 13.
And, you know, this is a case where you're not going to get that much rush. Look at the defensive line for the Jets. They aren't exactly steaming up the field. Because as a defense, you got to know this is coming. Reuben Brown working against Jones there, the middle linebacker. Jones does a nice job of holding off the blocking until the cavalry can get there, and the cavalry comes in the form of Houston, number 55.
3rd down and 13. Collins from the shotgun with 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the block. He goes to the sideline on a deep comeback, and it is there. Quinn Early has the 1st down.
That is inexcusable. I mean, that is absolutely inexcusable to get a football team
18 yards.
in 2nd and 23. You've got them in a situation. There's no way on good Lord's green earth they should get a 1st down, and you're playing so soft. You're playing so soft, you can walk out of bounds for the 1st down. I think that's ridiculous, personally, from a defensive standpoint.
And you saw on the replay Carl Greenwood turn, start downfield to pick up the deeper coverage pattern on him. He simply cut it off, came back, caught it underneath. There is Derek Holmes on the left side. He's getting quite a workout. Marvin Jones with a tackle.
You know, this Jets team is a team defensively that has really hung so many times this year. And Jim Vaccarelli, I think, gets a lot of the credit for the attitude of this defense. But they've been put in so many bad positions today that I think this offensive team is just wearing this defense down with the running game first of Thomas and now of Holmes. And that's why they're giving up the big plays via the pass.
Derek Holmes has carried the ball 20 times, quarterback draw. A couple of yards, and that's it. Holmes has rushed for 58. Marvin Jones stopping Todd Collins. Injuries, though, beginning to take some toll on Buffalo. Of course, Jim Kelly is out with that hamstring twinge. They lost Thurman Thomas in the 1st quarter. Ostrowski is out at right guard. Corbin Lucina has replaced him. And we saw Steve Tasker limping along the sideline.
Week 12, Charlie, 12th game of the year is 28-3 with about 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Little tweaks and twinges become bad enough to get guys out when you're this far on top of somebody physically.
Incomplete as he overthrows everybody. Eric Moles, the intended receiver. Aaron Glenn and Victor Green have the coverage. And that stops the clock now with 5 seconds left to go in the 3rd. And it's 4th down and 7.
Well, let's see if Chris Moore can get that bite on the ball again like he did that one time. He kicked it down, it bit on the one, went straight up in the air, and pinned the Jets back.
Wayne Corbett at the 10-yard line. But you mentioned a couple of games ago, what happened to the coffin corner kick? Everybody sees whether there's Tasker, but he's running into the
He just ran right by the coffin corner.
He's going for it. And it is caught at the 1-yard line.
Perfect again.
That's Kerner.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Kerner is in the perfect position. He knows where the ball's coming. That is great execution by DeHaven's special team group for Buffalo.
Marlon Kerner does the job for Buffalo. is the third time in the ball game they have been back down there. Once before they got out. See if they can do it again. But first, let's go back to
well, earlier today, I was out on the field watching Neil O'Donnell do this out of here throwing the ball, and he looked strong. You know, he's ready to come back. He says the only real problem is the, you know, re-strengthening all the muscles around his shoulder. But he threw him short, he threw him medium, he threw a few long. He said twinged a little bit, but it was mainly because of the muscles, not so much because of that dislocation.
Second down and 6. We're in the fourth quarter. Adrian Morrell. He's going to pick up the first down as he goes to 14-yard line. Bruce Smith was the first man to get there, and Chris Spielman the second for Buffalo.
That's first and 10 at the 14.
And this is just acceleration. You know, Matt O'Dwyer is pulling out, and right where he pulled out is where Adrian Morrell runs back and cuts that ball in there. I mean, there's suddenly a bubble forms in the defense when an offensive lineman vacates like that, and there's a good job of taking advantage of that bubble.
Morrell over 100 yards today, and we have some jumping in the offensive line.
And plenty of flags too, boy. Got about 4 of those
False
dogs.
start prior to the snap. Number 88, offense. 5
That's
yards.
on the tight end,
first
Kyle Brady. And you heard somebody's reaction to that call. And justifiably so.
Well, it's just you're backed up. There's motion. There's sound. You want to do it, and you leave about half a snap too early. And that's usually what happens right after you leave a snap too early. If you're one of the end type people, usually the linemen have got to stay in, but they bring the tight ends and running receivers out and have a little word with them when they do that.
So it is first down and 15 with the ball at the 9-yard line. 5 wide receivers. Bruce Smith.
He was going on Frank Reich's hand motion. Did you see Frank Reich throw his hands down in the air? Look at Bruce Smith. Frank Reich.
Number 78, defense, offside, unabated to the quarterback.
Look at
5
that.
yards, first down.
That's exactly what he went. You
Bruce
saw
Smith's
Frank
right.
Reich throw his hands down like that, looking for the ball.
Yep.
I mean, you can't move your head, much less your arms like that, asking for the ball. And he did jump off sides, absolutely, but he was drawn offside by that motion by Frank Reich.
Adrian Morrell, 19 carries, 103 yards rushing for New York. That is his 5th 100-yard rushing game this year, his 6th in his career. Quick pass over the middle. Pass is complete. A stretch out to try and pick up the first down. That can always be dangerous. Wayne Corbett, and he is stopped by Chris Spielman.
Well, it's right at about the 24-yard line, so it's going to be second down in about, a football or so.
Close to a first down.
You're going to stop the clock for a measurement. 13:02. That is the time remaining. We take another look.
I just pretend it's a third down and get it to Corbett and see if he can stretch out for your first down.
As the chains come out. Morrell going over the 1,000-yard mark. Well, it is a first down. And here's Tasker. We got a report on him from Carol Larson, our producer, that it was not an injury, that they wanted to put a knee brace on, and so now they have the knee brace on, and you can see he's running faster coming out than he was going in. My vote was that he'd find out it was so warm in the locker room that he'd decide to stay. 5 wide receivers. And here's Corbett, and he does it. He picks up the first down. Kurt Schultz with the tackle.
Well, he got a first down, got 10 yards on the last one. They measured that one. They won't have to measure this one because he got a lot more than 10 yards there. And just quick, efficient offense. First 2 plays out of the blocks in his last 2 possessions.
And the Jets with their hurry-up offense. Corbett again to the 44-yard line. So Frank Reich going to Corbett. Kerner with the tackle.
Well, you know, this is getting yards for the Jets defense, offense, but more importantly, this is keeping the defensive line off Frank Reich.
And here is the handoff to Anderson. A couple of yards, that's it, just across the 45.
Well, that's a plus. He got any yards. And Bruce Smith about 3 yards deep into the backfield at the beginning of that play.
Keyshawn comes wide to the near side. They have single coverage on him. There'll be safety help deep. 5 wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. 40, the 35. Still on his feet as he makes his cutback, 15, 10. And then how in the world did he get away from everybody as they all converge in the middle of the field at about the 20-yard line?
Well, just because you go into a bunch and just because you go into a pile doesn't mean you got to go down. I mean, he does a good job of heading this ball, heading straight up the middle of the field. Now watch, here comes the pile and the bunch. Right here. He goes into it, and a slight matter if you're going to go into a pile. If nobody grabs you, by all means, get on out of there and get some more yards.
Limping just a little bit at the end of the play, good for 46 yards. First down, goal to go, 8-yard line. Again, 5 wide receiver. Incomplete. Going to Anderson. Graham, 5 receptions and 98 yards in the ball game. And remember last week, he had 9 for 189 and 3 touchdowns.
And Frank Reich is going to continue to do these quick things to the receivers like Graham, like Corbett, like Keyshawn Johnson, because right now the Buffalo Bills have decided to keep stunning with the linemen, but they're also blitzing with the linebacker. So it's 3 steps and get it off, or you just might eat it.
28-3 Buffalo, a lot of time remaining, more than 11 minutes in the fourth. 5 wide receivers. Very effective, throws underneath, 1-yard line, reaching in as Graham. Did he make it for the touchdown? He did, yeah. So Jeff Graham with 3 touchdowns last week has his first of this ball game, 8 yards on the play, and his 6th of the year.
And once again, you saw Frank Reich, no messing around, just drops back and drills this thing to Graham, who came up. You saw him after that one pass, the long one where he came into the bunch, didn't get grabbed, came up limping, gets this one right here, gets it over, reaches over, he gets 6 points for a touchdown, and he comes up limping.
And Nick Lowry, well, there's Graham with a bit of a limp. Hanson with the hold, good snap, and it is good. John Hudson does the snapping for the Jets. He adds the extra point. The score, Buffalo 28, Jets 10, back with the kickoff.
Symbol for quality in America. And by Microsoft Software. Where do you want to go today?
This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross in Buffalo. 11 minutes and 5 seconds, time remaining in the ball game. Don Silvestri is going to kick it away for the Jets with Eric Moles and Russell Copeland, the return man for Buffalo. And it is taken to the 3-yard line by Eric Moles. Moles to the 20. He has the head of steam up. He's to the 50-yard line. He could bust it all the way, and he's going to. Oh!
No flag. That's a touchdown. What a job. That's pure speed, Charlie.
17 seconds. The scoreboard changes again.
Pure speed. Good,
97 yards.
good blocking, but Moles, oh, they trying to do a little Buffalo thing, and Ken Rose, the special teams coach from New York, got to look at that and his guys. I mean, that was just a case of nothing fancy. What Ken Rose, that special teams coach, saw was Eric Moles just take this thing straight up the field. I mean, where are the Jets?
He could fly again.
Much less where are the Bills. There weren't that many Bills around the guy. He just went straight up the field and got his 6 points.
And for the rookie, the #1 draft choice out of Mississippi State. That is his first NFL touchdown.
And he's keeping that ball.
Oh, yeah. Now, Steve Christie with the point after. It's good. So the Jets took 7 points off the lead. The Bills got it right back. We'll be back with the kickoff again, 35-10. It's been a long time between Buffalo kickoff returns for touchdowns. How long? Well, it's been almost 5 years. Al Edwards did it against Oakland December the 8th, 1991.
Well, I wonder if Al Edwards had to celebrate, take his ball, run to the sideline, put it underneath the trunk, and then get back out there and cover a kickoff.
We'll place a call to old Al and ask him about that. Here's the kick. At the 4-yard line, Reggie Cobb on the return. A one-arm grab pulls him down. That was Lonnie Johnson, the tight end, that just got a piece of him.
You know, those special...
No, it was Mark Pike, excuse me.
Coaches, I mean, the special teams, Charlie, have really killed the Jets this year in everything they've done. You know, a lot of that's really happened is because they've had so many injuries on Ken Rose's special teams, or actually on the offense and defense, that he's got almost exclusively backups running his special teams. And you got to have starters in there. You got to have your defensive backs and linebackers and some of your running backs, and it tells you a lot right there about what kind of execution and perhaps even effort that Ken Rose is getting from a lot of these guys that are running on the special teams. You know, the coach can only do so much on special teams. A lot of it is just player want to. You can tell them where to be, but if they don't get there, it's the player's fault.
Jets come out, 5 wide receivers. This has been very effective for him. Wayne Corbett pulls it in. Let's go to New York for an update. Here's Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Charlie, what an outstanding afternoon Curtis Martin is having for the New England Patriots. 35 carries, 141 yards rushing, and this dandy 12-yard touchdown run. His 16th TD of the season. That's a new franchise record, 27-6. Pats lead the Colts, 5.5 to play in regulation, Charlie.
As we come back, the ball is knocked in the air by David White of Buffalo. Knocked in the air. He couldn't quite pull it off. Corbett, the intended receiver.
Well, you know, it's great seeing that highlight about Curtis Martin in a game that, you know, both teams desperately needed to win, but New England with the big tuna Bill Parcells sort of putting the pressure on his guys, taking them out for, you know, a little early practice Friday before their late practice Friday. You know, you got to know with a running effort like that out of Curtis Martin, Parcells is nothing but smiles. Because the heck with just throwing the ball on people. Let me grind it on somebody.
Again, 5 wide receivers for the Jets.
Wow.
Jeff Graham, the intended receiver. Oh, he is dead. Whoa. Marlon Kerner was there for Buffalo.
Well, Kerner was there doing the defensive back thing.
Who hit him then?
He's doing the defensive back thing, trying to block that thing up. But watch Schultz, 24. Good morning. How are you? It's cold. That hurts. Not necessarily in that order.
You're right.
More like it hurts.
Oh.
Good morning. Ouch.
No.
Oh, then he steps on his hand.
Then no. Ouch. Oh, you got me again on the hand. And who was that? Did anybody get a number? 3rd down and 10. Into a crowd close to the first down. He may have it. And it's Keyshawn Johnson who has the reception. He's had a very tough afternoon.
Well, a little hot and cold. He had that one drop. He's had some great coverage against him by some defensive backs for the Buffalo Bills in a couple of situations.
That's his first catch of the ball game. And it comes with 9:49. That is the time remaining in the 4th quarter. It's close enough for the change to come out.
You saw the ticker as it moved by New England there, but San Diego 28-7 now up on Kansas City.
Isn't that interesting?
My old team, the Niners and Washington, are all locked up at 16 apiece.
San Diego, the same team at home last week against Tampa Bay. They were up 14-0, and they lost that ball game. They've really been an up and down roller coaster, hot and cold team. You know, every one of those cliches applies to the Chargers this year. Very strange season. But if they finish strong, like anybody, they can finish strong from here with a few exceptions, including the Jets. There's a chance for the playoff. Reaching out and pulling in is Wayne Corbett, and then he fights for all the extra yardage that he can get. He's an amazing athlete. I enjoy watching him play. He has so much fun, and he is very football smart.
Well, as a group, the Jets have an excellent group of receivers. When you look at, you know, Graham and Keyshawn Johnson and Corbett, they have Alex Van Dyke, and, you know, Corbett now has 7 catches for 65 yards. And, I mean, they've got a very good group there, and you got to think, too, that good news that's coming for the Jets is, you know, Neil O'Donnell's going to be back next week. And Frank Reich has filled in all right, but very important to get their leader back on offense.
And Houston struggling in their ball game this afternoon. Here is Reich. Waits, buys time. This is Graham. It's intercepted. Ray Jackson.
How in the world does Ray Jackson get that thing as it's deflected? I mean, you want to talk about hand-eye coordination.
I think Bruce Smith touched it and Jim Jeffcoat touched it. And then Jackson was there.
Oh, that isn't. Well, just watch how this works out.
There's one.
Here's the ball.
2.
Deflected. contact, bobble, catch on his stomach, nothing but net.
First attempt for the Bears at their 41.
41-yard line. Bills have the ball in their own territory. Nice play. That is the third interception for the Bills. They also have a fumble recovery. Reich, as you see, with the interception. And now Todd Collins will go to work once again for Buffalo. 9 minutes, 3 seconds time remaining in the game. Here's the reverse Derek Moles. Moles, he's the one that had that 97-yard kickoff return a moment ago. I'm not sure I like that little foot dance that he did. Just head on around the corner and get as much as you can. He's stopped by Aaron Glenn.
Well, that wasn't a foot dance. I think that was breaks. And sometimes,
he's going to go out of bounds. He's going so fast. There's Jim Kelly back on the sideline.
Well, look what the quarterback position has done today for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, an excellent execution. They're at 23 passes, though. So they're about at their limit. So you got to think from now on it's runs. Because they're not allowed to throw any more than 23, 25 passes. There's a tariff after that.
They have a governor on the arm. The arm's going to go back.
Yeah, there we go. And why, Charlie, do I harp on that? You know, 23, 25. It's very simple. You know, since this offense has started running in this form, running the ball effectively and not throwing much, they are 5-0 with less than 30 pass attempts. When you have less than 30 pass attempts, that's playing Northeast football. That's playing smash mouth, Big Tuna, Bill Parcells, now Marv Levy, running the ball, grinding it on the ground, and throwing high percentage passes.
Corbin Lucina is the injured player for Buffalo. Jerry Ostrowski has already come in to replace him. Clock is stopped with 7:52. That is the time remaining in the ball game, and the Buffalo Bills comfortably in front of the New York Jets, 35-10. The injury bug in this three wide receivers, and then spinning out and going incomplete to the tight end Tony Klein.
That little sleight of hand, little prestidigitation Collins had to do there. He got that quick snap, he bobbled it, he had to get rid of it fast because he was getting some serious pressure.
It's too cold to say prestidigitation.
Is it? We got an overtime game going on in Washington between the 49ers and the Redskins. Wow. Wow.
Here's Wayne Grabett set as the punt returner.
Chris Moore in punt formation.
Chris Moore kicks. Oh, this is a beauty. He has great hang time. Taken at the 14-yard line, a fair catch.
At the 14 by Wayne Grabett.
Here's a program note. Be sure to stay with us this afternoon. Coming up next, don't miss the exciting conclusion of the World Cup of Golf from Cape Town, South Africa. The American duo, U.S. Open champ Steve Jones, British Open champion Tom Lehman. They are in third place going into the final round. Join host Jay Randolph. That's coming up next here on NBC. And coming up next here at Buffalo with 7:37 time remaining, the Jets will see if they can get anything going here in the last 7.5 of the ball game. The Jets are headed for a record of 1-11. The Buffalo Bills, their record will be 9-3 as they continue on their march to the playoffs. Jets host Houston, who's losing next Sunday at the Meadowlands, and Buffalo will be at Indianapolis. Quick fires Graham, and he gets down underneath. Nice move. He could feel the safety coming up to nail him. That would be Emmanuel Martin, so he just slid down underneath it.
Well, more importantly, too, Charlie, Frank Reich threw that ball, floated that thing right in behind the linebackers in front of the defensive backs.
Reich again, 5 wide receivers. Jets offensively been very effective with 5 wide. This was tipped to the line of scrimmage. It'll be incomplete.
And really, for the Buffalo defensive linemen like Jim Jeffcoat and company up front, they have got to get those hands up fast because Reich is not holding on to this ball. He knows the pressure's coming. So Jeffcoat, the veteran defensive lineman, isn't near Reich, but he gets the hands up to block it.
The 5 wide receivers for the Jets are Jeff Graham, Wayne Grabett, Alex Van Dyke, Keyshawn Johnson, and then Richie Anderson, who they move out of the backfield as the 5th wide receiver.
Well, Jeffcoat's an interesting guy. Remember, he was with those Dallas teams that beat up on the Buffalo Bills in a couple of those Super Bowls.
Incomplete. Nice Nice defensive play. Corbett, the intended receiver. Ken Irvin just went around him with that left hand.
You got a flag down on the play, Charlie.
Oh, I thought he got away with it.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Well,
They're gonna call it on Irvin.
the left hand, he was all right. The left hand he was knocking the ball down with. It was the right hand that had a little holt of a little jersey, I think, that got him. You know, Frank Reich, remember, he's getting that shotgun, zip, zip, bang. He's getting rid of that thing. Even when he zip, zip, bangs, Bruce Smith's still getting into his legs. And they didn't call it on the knockdown with the left hand. They called it with a hold around on the other side with the right hand.
4 wide receivers on this set. Anderson, the ball carrier, up to the 38-yard line. Phil Hansen and Ray Jackson on the tackle. Denver now has taken the lead from Minnesota in that ball game, 21-7 with 18 seconds left. Elway, a 5-yard touchdown pass. You know, Elway is still up to his old trick. Meanwhile, Ray Jackson has such a great grasp on the receiver, Richie Anderson, that he cannot get away. So it's going to be third down. Clock continues moving, 6:23 and counting, time remaining in the ball game. The Buffalo Bills leading the Jets by a score of 35-10. Third down and 4. Over the middle, Corbett has it for a moment. Let's see when the ball comes loose. They're going to give him the spot out to the 44-yard line, which again he will convert on third down.
Yeah, they're gonna give him the motion, the forward motion when he caught that ball. Then he was snatched.
He was.
By Schultz and thrown down. Look at Schultz, 24. He sees Corbett coming. There's the catch and there's the snatch.
Carousel.
But the forward motion was up near the 44.5, 45-yard line. That we're going to put it on the 44.
So Corbett now 25 times on third down has picked up the first down on the season, leads the NFL in that category. We've got some bumping. We'll have a flag at around the 50 or the 49-yard line.
And once again on Irvin, number 27 in the defensive backfield, working on Graham.
Jeff Graham, the intended receiver.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Ken Irvin. I'm wondering with the effectiveness that we've seen, although the score sets up this type of an offense, 35-10, if we might not see more of this type of offense from the Jets the latter part of the season.
It's hard to say, and there's Graham playing official there, but Ron Earhart needs to run the ball effectively for this team to have an effective offense, and you just can't run the ball effectively out of this. It is great in a 2-minute type situation or as a mix-up like Buffalo does it, but they don't do it because they can run the ball so well.
4 wide receivers. Here's the blitz. A middle screen was what they were setting up. Corbett was right in the middle of it, and so was the rookie from Colorado State for the Buffalo Bills, Sean Moran.
It was one of those good news, bad news. Good news is I'm going to get you the ball for another reception, Wayne, but the bad news is you shan't be alone.
That's right.
You will have some company with you when you catch that ball.
Trick or treat, here they come.
Which was that? Trick or treat?
A little beat. Again, pressure on the outside. Corbett has it. He makes a move to the outside. Scroll down to the 44-yard line.
So these other receivers are going to start getting a little jealous out here in these drives between Graham and Corbett. No one else is going to be able to recognize what an NFL-sized football looks like after the last couple of drives. They're the only guys that have seen the ball.
Well, they may all come out of the locker room wearing number 80 on their jersey. Now to 5 wide receivers. They mix it up from 4 wide to 5 wide. Now protection, and this one is incomplete. 4:26, that is the time remaining in the ballgame. With the ball on the 44-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. That last pass intended for Alex Van Dyke, the rookie from Nevada. Thomas Smith had the coverage for Buffalo.
Well, after several weeks of the Jets, going down to the wire, having late leads, and then finding a way to lose, this has been a game that they made early mistakes in, and Richie Kotite's Jets got bumped by these Buffalo Bills, and they made those early mistakes.
4th down and 6. Of course, you go for it with the score and the time remaining in the game. Almost almost intercepted. Almost picked
Schultz
off.
almost had another chance.
That would have been a hat trick. He would have had his 3rd interception. Let me make a correction. 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and we'll be back in just a moment. 35-10 Buffalo. 22 seconds, time remaining in the ball game on a very cold Sunday afternoon here in Buffalo. The wind chill factor now down to 9.
Why would you have to ice anything?
The icing would only go on the cake today, and that would be inside the locker room for the party as we go to New York now for an update. Greg?
All right, Charlie, it's all over in Minnesota. And what a way it ended from 5 yards out. John Elway's pass tipped by Orlando Thomas. Harlan Bennett has a shot to intercept. Instead, Ed McCaffrey grabs it, falls into the end zone with 19 seconds to play. The Broncos have won 8 in a row, 21-17 over Minnesota, Charlie.
And Greg, I do believe it is the year of the Bronco. I think this is Denver's year. And Elway is having just a tremendous season. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills continue to work. Their record is going to be 9-3. Jason Bratton, the rookie free agent from Grambling, the ball carrier. For a loss of a couple of yards. This would set up a very nice, very interesting championship matchup, Bobby Hamilton with that last tackle between, and it could happen, the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game to see who would go to the Super Bowl.
Well, and really, if you're talking about, the Buffalo Bills, you got to also remember, yeah, they're 9-3. Let's say they finish 13-3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Denver finishes 15-1. There's no home field advantage for Denver against these guys. What do you think? Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith and these guys are afraid of the cold?
No, it's cold in both cities.
Yeah, so it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's a factor playing in front of that crowd at Mile High anytime.
But a factor playing in front of the crowd here.
But this is a veteran football team begging for a chance to get back into that Super Bowl again.
Fair catch is taken at the 26-yard line. 2 minutes and 3 seconds time remaining. Wayne Grabett with the fair catch. And the New York Jets will come out with their either 4-wide or 5-wide offensive set to see what they can get going here. As the crowd a little bit disappointing from the standpoint of the fact that the Buffalo Bills had an 8-3 record coming into the ball game. Now their record will be 9-3. They're beginning to lead, but the Buffalo Bills now have a train that comes on the Sundays of the home games, and it leaves Albany to Buffalo. They had just over, not quite 1,000 on the train of tickets for people that are here watching the game. Then they'll take the train back to Albany, and a waiting list of 1,500 to make the train trip to Buffalo for a ball game. Keyshawn cut it off at the 35-yard line, and Frank Reich, he went deep. It's incomplete. 1:59, time for the 2-minute warning. Buffalo up 35-10. 3 wide receivers and a flanker on the depth, and a blocker back in for protection, and the screens to Richie Anderson. Anderson is going to pick up just a couple of yards on the play, and that's going to be it. Sean Price with the tackle.
You got a jet down on the field back where Frank Reich was. It's Jumbo Elliott came into this game with a twinged calf muscle that he suffered in last week's game.
So the trainer's working on it. So we have a quick injury timeout. Don't go away. We'll be right back. 35-10 Bills.
Just the continuity of he and his staff and the way they work with these players and the way they've weaved in some of these new people. Somebody goes down. Linebacker White comes in for pop. Gabe Northern, a couple of weeks ago, blocks a big punt against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, Marv Levy is getting everything out of this football team he possibly can right now.
Deep down the far sideline into single coverage. It is going to be incomplete. The Buffalo Bills hold. They take over on downs, and now all they need to do is to work on the clock.
Frank Reich finally, for the last couple of series against the ball, have held and held and held. And in this case, he got the protection, but he really had nowhere to go. This is sort of throwing and hoping, because Thomas Smith out there has excellent coverage on Alex Van Dyke.
And so the Bills take over on downs at the 28-yard line of the New York Jets.
Yeah, we talked about the pass attempts of the Buffalo Bills. Less than 30 equals 5-0, now 6-0. Frank Reich and the Jets threw 51 passes. And unless you're one of those aerial circuses from the old AFL days, 51 passes mean you're losing.
And so the Bills just kneeling down, letting the clock move. That is Todd Collins. Here's a program note. NBC tonight. It's Thanksgiving Alien Style, an outrageous all-new Third Rock. Then at 8:30, 7:30 Central, the movie that we've been talking about, Maverick, with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner. The network premiere of Maverick at a special time after Dateline and Third Rock tonight here on NBC.
It's a scary thought, those Third Rock guys having Thanksgiving.
You begin to wonder. Yes. That's a great movie, isn't it? A great series. I enjoy that. You see the smile on the face of Jim Kelly. Kelly with a twitch in the hamstring, not playing in the second half of the ball game. The Bills comfortably in control of this one, almost from the beginning, and that is not quite enough. They may have to kneel down one more time to make it official. So the clock continues.
Yeah, I was talking about Bruce Smith. He's got that ice bag on. You don't need the ice bag, Bruce. Just lift up your jersey. Let the air get at that thing. He's got a little bruise, obviously, in his lower back is why he's icing it, but he's not suffering too much with a smile like that on his face.
And so we still have to take the countdown of the last 15 seconds to make this score official. Rich Kotite and Marv Levy. Levy's record now for the Buffalo Bills, 9-3, and the Jets are now looking for that elusive second victory of the season. They'll have another opportunity against Houston next Sunday in the Meadowlands. The final, Buffalo 35, the Jets.